being black. All right. You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. Tell the truth and shame the devil. I love being
That's
black.
right. That's right. I love being black. All right, come on in, people. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. We are here. We live, uncut, unedited. Tell the truth and shame the devil. All right. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in.
You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. Tell the truth and shame the devil. I love being black.
All right, people. Appreciate you for tuning in tonight. Late night show. It's good to be living in the land of the living. I won't choose no other better time to be living than living right now. And this is real talk, people. We living in a good day. Some may not believe me, but we are living in a good day. It's so many things that are being revealed that was hid for centuries, hundreds of years. Appreciate you. I want to thank all my wonderful guests coming in tonight. I see you, Burgundy Blue. I see you. They calling in early. Let me call. I haven't even called in yet. People myself. D Jackson. I'm gonna call in. Hey, people, this is real. This is real. This is real, people. And one thing I know, when you are
Hey, caller.
when
This
you
is
are
Marty G,
popular,
aka the Crime Chaser.
when you are
Live,
popular, people,
uncut, unedited
people
broadcast.
people
Just before
will
you speak, please
scrutinize
turn down
you,
all your audio.
will make you
Please turn
look
them
bad
up or
and
down,
measure
and do
you,
not have us on speakerphone
do
so
all
we won't
that.
have an
But
echo,
I'm
and we'll
glad,
be with you shortly.
I'm
Thank you
glad
so
that
much.
I'm living.
At the tone, please record your name for announcement.
Crime Chaser. What's up, Marcus? I see you. Oh, that's you calling Burgundy Blue. Burgundy Blue calling in. She can give us a report today. Hey, I'm calling in. Okay, I see you, Burgundy Blue. Just hold on. Hold on. Let me just get a few more people in here so we get to rolling. We won't have to keep repeating ourselves. You know how it is. People have to repeat themselves over and over because people just come right on in. And but let me get back to what I was talking about real quick. We living in a good day and time. It's good to be living in the land of the living. And when you are doing great things, or when you are in positions of power, you're going to be scrutinized. And I'm not just talking about Tiffany, I'm just talking about in general. So even though the topic is about Tiffany legacy, so you're going to be scrutinized, people. You got to have some thick skin. You got to have a hard head so when they knock you upside the head, you can just keep on rolling. You can't show no signs of weakness, no signs of despair. You got to know that you 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 know. Real talk. And it's hard, people, living a lie. It's hard living a lie because you got to keep going and keep going and keep going with a lie. And one thing I learned about the truth, the butt naked truth will undress a dressed up lie. You got folks around here that will spread lies on you, and that lie will spread so fast. I tell you. But when they tell the truth on you, the truth just seems like you don't go far. You don't go far. It just seems like all negativity just blossom. Blossom. Have you ever met somebody that's itching to find out something bad about you? What kind of person you call that? We still on Tiffany, don't get me wrong, but I'm just giving a talk. I'm prep talking us before we get started there. What type of person is that? What type of person is that envies you, desires care what you have and mad at you because you work hard and you sacrifice. It's like a young man or a young woman taking her 3 children to school, getting up 5 o'clock every morning, getting on the red line, the green line, the purple line, one in the left arm, one holding the stroller, one inside the stroller, and she just going back and forth. She working, she stacking up her money, taking her children to daycare. Now she pops up with a new car. But see, and now you got folks hating on her. But see, they didn't see the part when she was on the bus, on the train, getting up early in the morning, struggling with 3 babies. Now she got a car, a brand new car. Don't you think that woman deserved that? She sacrificed. It's like a person you see that you know that was sleeping on a couch at somebody else's house. They saved their money up, and now they got them a beautiful apartment or even a house. Now here go people come around, they mad, they jealous. Oh, I remember when he was sleeping on so-and-so couch. But he's not sleeping, he or she is not sleeping on the couch now. They have big, beautiful home, a condo. People, what is wrong with us? Somebody said, well, Martin, wrong is wrong, right is right. I always tell people the same energy you go after your sisters and brothers with, it should be the same energy that you go after your oppressors. The same energy. Don't let down. Don't take down. Don't take down. Again, we living in a good day and time. You know, there's people out there that's wishing you fail. They wishing you well, but hoping you fail. We got people out there like that. People, when we see people that don't fit the way we think they should be, and we know they stick out because they're different. They're different. Do we tease them? Do we talk about them? But they're different. Some of us look different. We got some features that's way out. Some of us, we do things that other people don't understand. They say, why that man going out there chasing all that crime? He ain't getting paid for it. Why is that man risking his life for going out there for these people? These people don't care nothing about him. These are the things that people that's looking on don't know our passion, don't know the desire, what people do. You got some people, they love to play sports, and that's what they do. You got some people that love to play chess. That's what they do. They love it with a passion. But I tell you what, people, I learned in life that you can't please everybody. Somebody just not going to like you. Not because you owe them any money. Not because you slept with their wife. Not because you mean mugged them. They just don't like you just because they don't like you. They have no, they don't even know why they like you.
Has joined.
How many people we have like that? You got people got 100,000 followers, 200,000 followers. You got people hating on them. You hating on them. Why you hating on them? Build yours up and get 100,000 followers. Build yours up and get 200,000 followers. It's a lot of work. We live in a day and time, people, where everybody want to go viral, including Martin Johnson. I've been viral many times. We all love a viral video. But what is it? What type of price that we're willing to pay to get to that viral video? Are we willing to sell our soul out to the devil? Are we willing to lie on somebody to get there? Are we willing to make up a story, a fake story, just to go viral? Or are we just getting online to argue with somebody to start some beef so we can go viral? See, you got some people out here, people, they love attention. They don't care if it's negative or positive. Long as all eyes on me. I got to tell the truth, people, and shame the devil. People, we have a lot going on here in the city of Chicago. A lot going on. We really do. A lot going on. We have a lot going on in Dolton. And I'm going to tell you, y'all can say whatever you want to say about Tiffany. Again, I'm not a supporter of hers, nor am I a fan. I know her personally. But I will say this. If all that money is missing, she didn't do that by herself. Allegedly, they say. She didn't do it by herself. So if she go down, y'all better hope she don't go down, because if she go down, a lot of y'all out there is going right down with her too, because you was involved in something, allegedly. So you better pray that she don't go down. They got to say it. Man, people will ruin your legacy because they can't get what they want from you. They can't control you. I've seen it, people. Now listen, let me say this, people. When you move up in life in another level of status and do things, you can't be that old person. Once you become famous, you can't be hanging out on the block and all doing all that stuff. It ain't that you don't love your people, but certain things you can't do. Your lifestyle don't allow you to do it. Just think about the superintendent of police. He can't be out here just wide open like that. He'd be an open target. Certain things he cannot do. Certain places he cannot go. Just because of his legacy, his position in life. A lot of you have had conversations off the record with political people. And they'll tell you how they really feel. But once they get in public, they somebody else. They get along, go along. They know a lot of things are wrong. People, let me tell you something. When people get in positions of power, you can either do what's right, what's morally right, or keep your check and do what's wrong. And most of the time, people get that check, get that bag. Well, I know it's wrong, but I got to pay my bills. I'm just doing my job. That's the excuse they use. But it's going to come a time when you got to do what's right. Not only for yourself, but for your people. Everything is temporary, people. Even power is temporarily. Real talk. People, we living in a country where they call them wrong, right, and right, wrong. We living in a country. We living in a country that tells black people, love, do everything by the book, go to school, get your education, stay out of trouble. And everything that they have asked us to do in this country, we've done it. But it's, for some reason, we're still being oppressed.
Yeah, 803.
Real talk. But I'm going to get ready to go to the callers. I just want to warm you guys up. Set the pace tonight. This is real, people. There's not one person that's listening to this podcast that can't have no room to grow. We all can do better in life. We can all find something wrong with ourselves that we can improve to make us a better person. We all can. Now we're moving toward a new year. If God allows us, some of us just listen to this podcast, we may not be able to enter into 2025. God may say, hey, that's it. The scripture said when that axe hit the tree, and wherever it fall, wherever it lay, wherever it fall, that's where it lay. That's the end. There's some people right now that got plans for 2025, but are not going to live to see 2025. Real talk. There's somebody today that left their home and was expecting to return, and it didn't happen because sudden death came or sickness. Something came. People, we got to start loving on each other, right or wrong, good or bad. There's so much hate in the land. It's so easy to hate, and it's so difficult to love. And I'm not talking about that old sexual love, because some folks confuse sex with love. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that unconditional love. You love him without a reason. You love him without a purpose. You just love him because you love him. God is described in one word. God is love. People, every one of us going to have our day of scrutiny, of pain, of tears, bereavement. We're going to have our day, people, right or wrong, good or bad. And I always say, and y'all know I say it, I know y'all say, well, it's like he preaching tonight. Somebody need to hear this. How you live in this world is how you're going to die. You can't live a life of a drunkard and die sober. You cannot live a life of homosexuality and die straight. How you live in this world is how you're going to die. You cannot live a life of a liar and die truthful and die right. Again, how you live in this world is how you're going to die. Period. I always say, the preacher always say, while you're living, they lie on you. But when you're dead, they lie for you. Real talk. I don't know who needs to hear this tonight. And I didn't know I was going to go this route. But sometimes we have things written down that we want to talk about. But look at God. Sometimes you got to let God have his way. It's real talk. The scripture tells us there's a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Every man is right in his own eyes. They think what's right. And let me tell y'all something. I'm going to go to the callers. I'm sorry, I got to say this. A lot of you perfect people out there. There are some perfect people in love, I believe. And you go out here and you say, well, Martin, it's a shame they doing this and doing that. They doing that. Yes, it is. But some people don't care about right and wrong. If they feel like doing it, they're going to do it. They don't care what listen, everybody don't care about the scriptures, the Bible, the religion, Baptist, Methodist, Presbyterian, Catholic. They don't care about that. Who cares about right and wrong when they're trying to eat and trying to live? Nobody care about yours and your house when they're trying to live and eat. You got folks out here will kill you, will assassinate you, your character, and guess what? People go home like nothing never happened. Let me go to the next caller. We're talking about the legacy of Tiffany Henyard. What is going to be her legacy, people? Would these alleged charges tarnish her legacy? Will it tarnish a young black woman that's in a position to be great in the political world and represent the women? All right, caller. 9449. Come on, caller.
Well, Martin, I believe that, yes, her positive will be overshadowed by the negative, unfortunately. She started off doing positive. She was the first, correct me if I'm wrong, black female mayor of Dolton. Correct me if I'm wrong. I want to make sure I'm right.
You're right.
And she started off, we both met her. She seemed to be this energetic, positive person. I'm surprised that this is happening. It's a sad thing. I'm not happy, but the harsh reality of it is a lot of people gonna look at her from what she is doing now, or what is said that she is doing now. And that's going to be her legacy. She's going to leave out on a sour note, just like Obama had a legacy with Obama. Is a lot of black people don't like Obama because he didn't do nothing for them. Well, Tiffany Henyard is going to leave out on a bad note, sadly to say. That's my opinion. I don't know about anybody else.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. In her defense, what if these alleged charges come to not to be found not to be true? Then what would you say then?
Well, I would again look at how she started out. I hope that they're not true. Really, I do. And I would say that then her legacy will be, she might get reelected, of course, and people will look at it from a different perspective. But her legacy she would leave out on a positive note. But hey, I hope it is a lie and not the truth.
Okay, let me just say this, people. Marcus, I think you heard me say this. There's always two sides of the story. I say three. There's her side, his side, and God's side at the end of the day. And let me just say this too, Marcus, and you know this, man. You're not the young man that used to go in Inglewood, Ogden Park, and shoot pictures of the young men on basketball court anymore. You're still that person, but you have elevated in life. Your craft have taken you to professional sports right now. So you probably won't get caught on in Ogden Park shooting pictures no more. I'm just saying.
No, I don't have the inspiration.
See what I'm saying.
Right,
so let me say this. Listen to this, Marcus. The people might say, "Oh, now look at him. I remember he was in Ogden Park shooting, taking pictures of us on the basketball court. Now he didn't got too high. Now he act like he don't even know us. He don't come around no more." So my point is, Marcus, when you elevate in life, it's certain things that you can't do anymore. Certain places you can't go no more. That's all I'm saying, Marcus. It's not that you don't have that passion, the love for it. You've moved on. You've moved on.
You're right. Can I chime in on that?
Yes, sir.
You are so right. You're right. I have moved on, and then it's a safety issue. Everybody ain't happy that you're coming back. They looking to take from you. You said it earlier. People lie on you. Look how many people. Look how much I've been lied on. If people have called in to your show and pushed a lie on me that ain't true.
Mm-hmm.
Look how I've been lied on. You going back into the community, people say they were talking about Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose wasn't coming back in the community when he was playing for the NBA because some of y'all would wanted to have robbed him. But he was helping the community. People do help the community. But no, your mindset changes. I started off on that basketball court at Ogden Park, and my goal was to one day shoot NBA ball, and it happened. I'm shooting NBA basketball, doing Major League Baseball, doing hockey, and doing all type of professional sports. You have to have a starting point. That don't mean you stay there. You elevate. We're not in school no more, are we, Mark?
No.
We went from kindergarten to 8th grade, and from 8th grade to our last year of high school, and some of us completed college, right?
Right.
So life is about stages. You don't stay on the same level. You grow. You leave the neighborhood. Some of us leave the city, and we don't look back. It's not because we don't like Chicago. It's because we've elevated in life. That's what life is about. And then eventually you die.
All right. Let's go to the next caller. Thank you, Marcus. Hold on. We have a panel tonight, 4154. Hey, caller.
Hey, Martin, how you doing?
Good.
I believe her negativity is going to outweigh her bad, but I'm going to piggyback on what Marcus said. When you grow, you have to move on. Sometimes you can outgrow family members, you can outgrow friends. And when God elevates you, you got to move.
Okay.
You got to move. That's just like when the girls come up missing now. I know all the signs, so I help the parents because I know what's going on because they had that experience with my daughter. So people gonna allow you, people gonna talk bad, but to my haters, I love my haters because I need some more haters to go with them haters. And God has really elevated me. God can gave me a third eye. I can see your BS comment. I can feel your energy. So if I feel your negative energy, I don't want you nowhere around me because bad energy drains you.
Okay. 7127. Next
And
call. Oh, go. You done? I ain't know if you done.
okay,
You stopped. Are you done? Come on.
and I want to say one more thing. If God blessing one person, He gonna bless me next. It's just not my season. It's just not my turn yet. You gotta humble yourself. God put us through life challenges, and just to see how are we going to get out of them.
Okay. All right. Let me go to the next caller. 7127. Well, actually, area code 803. Come on, 803, area code.
Yeah, how are we doing tonight, Martin?
Man, I'm wonderful. I'm glad to be living in the land of the living.
Yeah, man. So my thing has always been, at the end of the day, I don't care who it was. If all of them got to go, they all need to go.
Mm.
If something was done inappropriate, it should not just hang on Tiffany. Tiffany should not be the only one who goes down. Anyone who had anything to do with any type of inappropriateness with funds and things of that nature, they all need to go because they're all harming the community. So it doesn't just stay, or it shouldn't just ride solely on Tiffany's back or on her shoulders to bear the accountability. It should have gone, and it should rightfully go to every last person involved with it, along with her, anyone who was culpable in it. Now, having said that, there is still the understanding that when you are in a leadership position, you are going to be looked at different for all the different reasons that you so eloquently, put in regards to how people are going to look at you, how people are going to, for no reason, have jealousy and envy because they couldn't do what you did. Those things are always, that is embedded in human nature for whatever reason. It's never going to change. I don't care the race, creed, color. It's embedded in human nature. So as a leader, you already have to understand that is going to come with the territory. What you can't then do is sabotage yourself with how you move and then expect to still say that you are the victim. Those two things cannot be at the same time. You have to have enough self-awareness to be able to say, hey, maybe I need to move a little different.
You still there, 803? I don't know what happened. Dropped the phone or something? 803? I don't know what happened, 803. I don't know what happened. I understood what the brother was saying. I trust me, I understood, man. I guess people trying to when you elevate in life, you're going to have those problems, people. Are you back? You back? 803? I don't know what happened. And I'm going to say this too, people. I don't have a dog fight in it. I'm not paid by her. I have not had no conversation with her on the telephone or anything or discussed anything. But a lot of y'all out there, y'all jealous. Y'all just jump on a bandwagon against somebody. You don't like the way the person look. You don't like the way the person talk. Some of y'all just jealous, hateful. Just jumped on a bandwagon. Don't even know the story. Just jumped on a bandwagon of hate. don't know what's going on. And I'm trying to figure out how all these people that don't even live in the town, just not even from the state, how they get all this information. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So, 803, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, your phone has dropped or something. You want to finish talking?
Yeah, I admire that you bring up points, Martin, and valid points that we have very good discussions, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And when people are doing the personal, it's not the personal. It doesn't have to go to that. It doesn't have to go to these personal attacks about her wardrobe, about this, that, or the third. None of that has anything to do with policy and the constituency. None of that stuff. You know, so there are people whose conversation is very disingenuous because it's based out of their jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have to leave room for valid points of conversation to say, okay, look, if I'm a leader and I've been in leadership positions and I understand that responsibility and I know I had to move a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
I know I couldn't look a certain way, especially being a black man in a position in a place where it was predominantly Caucasian. So I knew I couldn't move the same way. I knew I couldn't move like them. I couldn't, you know, sneak off and take extra time off like they did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I couldn't cut those corners that they had just instinctively instilled within their positions.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't move the same like that. But only thing I hope is that if she were to come through this storm and none of the allegations are, once again, these are all allegations, but if anything if none of this stuff is founded, she has, you know, anything, you know, and she's able to be reelected, I just hope that someone would at least be able to sit her down and say, okay, look, you weathered this and you got through it. But there still is a lot to be said to say that you have to still be able to admit that you aren't perfect either.
Mm-hmm.
That you have room, like you said, we all have room to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can take this situation that you just went through and come out of it saying, hey, you know what? I wasn't completely right in how I approached all of these conversations and how I approached all of this. I think she could come out to the good of it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but it takes to have some type of self-awareness.
Let me say this, by you being in leadership, and Keith Price did get on here and he said something that made so much sense. He said, man, if you see the threatening messages that she get, and when your life is constantly under threat, and I know how that feel because I've crime chased for many years, folks threaten you and all that, what they gonna do to you if they catch you back over here. I know how that feel. Automatic, your antennas go up. You don't know who's who. You just don't know who to trust. You just don't.
And I completely understand. And I've never had that kind of pressure. I've never had that kind of pressure.
See, that's what Keith Price was saying. He said some of y'all wouldn't be able to withstand what she go through. And we really don't know exactly what that woman goes through. Listen, we got the people that don't even live in the city of the state of Illinois or Chicago, don't have no ties to it, don't have no family members. And you know, it's a freedom of speech. And they just go in on don't know nothing. They just, whatever the media put out, they rolling with it. You know, you don't know. You just don't know, people. Listen, that's impossible for this woman allegedly to steal all this and mishandle all this money by herself. Come on now. You got different offices. You know that, brother? Martin. Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
That's the thing, Martin. That's why, for me, it's not a personal thing about Tiffany. It's not a personal thing for me at all about Tiffany. I'm against anyone holding a position in that township, in that village. If you are misappropriating funds, you need to go. I don't care who you are. Now we're looking at Tiffany because once again, she is the spearhead. She's the leader.
Get all the blame.
So of course she's going to get all the blame. Correct. At the same time, for me, and this is where it once again, and so many different aspects about a person's personal opinions and their perspectives, and how they approach, how they look at any situation of information that they're receiving, and their own personal biases. But when these are situations, like you said, I live over here in South Carolina. I have no idea what's going on in there, but I'm trying to look at it from an objective standpoint. Now, in my perspective and things look funny. Now, at the end of the day, those allegations have to be either proven true or false, one way or the other. That's it. And if it's proven true, it deserves to be dealt with. If it's proven false, then she deserves the space to repair her reputation without anybody getting in the way. But I don't think a lot of people are willing to have that genuine of a neutral conversation. Most people are going to come into these conversations with you on these panels with their own personal biases, their own personal ways that they look at things. And it's always going to, and that's why you get the people who come with the threatening. And why are you threatening the woman? What are you threatening her for? What has she done to you personally? You know what I mean? So that's already a sign that people tend to lash out to other people in places and situations that they don't have, that they can't control it in their own lives. So this is their scapegoat in order to let out all the vitriol and all the anger and all of the things that they hold inside them that they don't deal with within themselves. But here's a target. I can easily address it to her, and I can let it all go on her. I really hate that this conversation and this situation for this community has devolved so much into the personal side of things. It didn't have to be that way. There's enough to be concerned about with just the facts. And that's all that matters. The facts, what is going to be proven to be true or what is not. That is it. And for everyone who's riding so hard against Tiffany, are you prepared to admit that things were not what you thought they were? And, and that goes to both sides. The people who are riding so hard for Tiffany, if it's proven that she did do things, okay, so can you admit, that there was a fault there? So not many people can ride the middle. You know what I mean, Martin? Most people tend to skew to one side or the other in a heavy way. Most people aren't built to maintain a middle ground mentality.
Say it. And I agree with exactly what you just said, man. I see a lot of going on. And don't get me wrong, like I said earlier, how you live in this world is how you're going to die. So you can't live a life of a ungodly person, then die godly. So how you live in this world is how you're going to die. So no matter what we say about a particular person, their life is going to tell a story. That's at the end of the day. That's it. And I see, brother, it's so easy. I see where it's going, man. I see where it's going. This is what Martin, what are you talking about? It's so much hate, people. He said, we don't have to comment on everything. Some things we can hold our judgment, and everything is just not our fight, people. Some things you just got to sit back and just, when the dust settles, just let the dust settle. Some things. Man, listen, I live here in the state of Illinois, and I'm minutes away from Dolton. I don't know everything that's going on. I'm not in the administration. So I'm careful as a person that's out in the front all the time, or community activist, whatever you want to call me. A radio, I ain't gonna say radio person, a creator, whatever. I have to be careful what I say, brother. Some people out there will believe everything that I say. And I'm not saying that I put out wrong information or false lies. I don't do that. That's not my character. But I will say, I don't know everything, brother. Sometimes my emotions and your emotions can get in the way of your thinking, cripple your thinking.
Correct.
And we got to be careful of that. I hear people coming on here talking about her wig, her wig game or the weave. I hear people coming on talking about her makeup and dog. I mean, just all type. That's just pure hate. That don't have anything to do with policy, like you said. But that's your personal body.
No.
And listen, if that woman want to be arrogant, let her be arrogant. Some of y'all ain't got to deal with it. You don't even live in a state. You don't live in a township. Everybody, we all got our own personalities. And I always tell somebody, I learned from one of my best friends, she said, Martin, we all are ugly to somebody. You can take the finest woman and the most handsomest man, and he or she is ugly to somebody. Seriously. It's easy for us to get on here and deem it. And I'm not trying to play she's a victim or whatever. Politics is a dirty game. Y'all know that. You got to have, especially in Chicago, you got to have you got to have a hard head. You got to have a heart to play this game in Chicago, because they go below the belt. They going to dig in your mama's background, your daddy's background, your background, your schooling, any little dirt. They going to pay your best friend to tell some on you private that, that don't nobody know but him and the person. And him and you, I'm sorry. So Chicago politics is a dirty game. Very dirty game, people.
Yeah.
When you want to assassinate a person, you assassinate their character. And brother, if I come out on this podcast and say you got a fatal disease, mention your name, put you all out there, then okay, then I apologize. Well, I'm sorry, man, I should have did, I lied. But guess what? The damage is already done. Sometimes you can't undo the damage when you put it out there. You have to be careful what you say. Real talk.
Well,
go ahead, bro.
That's why I really wish that she had, and I don't know what all the mechanisms she has in place behind the scenes. I don't know that, but I just feel in a lot of ways that I wish there were more, I guess, more visible, to give her a more refined approach to this. You know what I mean? Right. Optics is everything nowadays.
Right.
Optics is everything. And a lot of people aren't going to look for truth. But they look for the optics first.
Let me say this, brother. Only people that Tiffany owed an explanation to is the people in Thornton Township and in Dolton.
That is correct.
Those are the only people that she owed an explanation to. And them employees, whatever. Them the only ones.
Yeah.
Let me take this new call. I'll come back to you, brother. I'll come right back to you. Hold on, Marcus. I got to take this call. 215. Go ahead, caller. 215. Go ahead. Sorry.
Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. You first time caller?
Can you hear me?
First time caller?
No, this is the second time.
Okay, go ahead. You good. Go ahead.
I don't like when they talk about her hair and
I don't like that either.
her speech. I really don't like that at all. And I know when y'all was talking earlier, y'all had said that once you reach a certain status, you can't do certain things that you did before. And I feel like when you of public service, I don't feel like that applies to you, because how can you outgrow your constituents, the ones that's paying your salary? You should always be available to reach back to them. So I don't think that correlates in public service in personal business when you move up and you get a different stature.
Well,
at first, when I came upon the story,
go ahead. I want to say something. Let me say something with that. That's a good point. Hold on. I'm gonna let you talk. That's a good point what you just said. But you're a mayor of 20,000 people. You're not going to have a conversation. I know you're not going to have a conversation. Hold it, sister. Hold it. We got. Don't let the emotions take over now. I'm saying.
Me a question,
I am, but hold it. What I'm saying is, every 20,000 people under your watch, under your mayor thing, not going to have your personal phone number. You're not going to talk to 20,000 residents, individual. They're not going to be able to pick up the phone and call you personally. Public figures have to move a certain way, even if you're serving the public. You can't be ready. Listen, when public figures get threatened, they got to have security. You know, some people that probably was friends with her maybe felt like, hey, you owe me. I did this. I was right there before you got started. And they may be feeling some type of way. That's all I'm saying. I understand what you're saying, but you cannot make yourself available for everybody because you can't please everybody. 20,000 people.
Yeah, well, you right about the 20,000 people, but when I first got wind of the story, I thought like something wasn't right. I have to go look into it for myself. So I started watching the meetings back from the beginning, and there was people, 4 or 5 people she won't even respond to. They was in there, they begged her. I watched all the way back to when she was a trustee. Everything she said when she got into that Mario position, she totally flipped. So when a lot of people are judging her, they're judging her off of what they see. And from the meetings, it's only ever about 5 or 10 residents that actually get up and do public comment. She don't even respond to them. If you watch the meetings, she put her head down. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to really be objective when her behavior really shows guilt. Because if somebody would have said, I'm stealing, open up the books. You know what I mean? When you look at all her administration from when I first started watching the meetings till now, nobody is on her team. Lacey gone, Keith Freeman gone, Tanjanique gone, and her team is forever evolving. So at what point do you use common sense and say something ain't right?
Mm-hmm.
Now she's over the township and she's over Dolton.
Mm-hmm.
And we're having the same problem in the same places, and the only common denominator is her. I mean, at some point you have to question what's going on. This week, the auditors said they refused to do the audit because she wouldn't even hand over the information for them to audit the books, which in turn, if she wasn't doing nothing, would have set her free. It would have proved everything is on the up and up. And then I heard you say, well, she don't owe nobody no explanation but the people in Dolton. I disagree with that because all that grant money and everything that they give in all these small towns come out of a pool of the USA. We all paying into that grant money. It's just not Dolton. When that ARPA funds and a lot of them grants that come, them is from taxpayers' money in the whole USA. We all pay into a pool. So it's a lot of moving parts, but just dismissing the noise and just watching her behavior, she's not forthcoming.
Well,
so
let me just say this. So if they can't get the records and do the audit, is she may be over that. Is she holding the record? Is she telling her administration not to give up the records? That means that person, right? So you can see, that's what I'm saying. See, it's like this. Let me give you an example. If a plane fall out the sky from United Airlines, they're not going to blame the pilot. The pilot could have been high, drunk, and anything happened. But the company is going to get blamed. So any wrongdoing that goes on in Dolton is automatically going to point direction right back at Tiffany, Thornton Township.
I'm talking about Thornton.
Okay. Okay, what I'm saying, even with the records. Hold on, sister. Hold it, sister. Listen, let me just say this.
Go ahead.
If she's not releasing the records, that means she's probably, allegedly, she's telling her administration, don't get the records up.
Maybe, possibly.
So it's not just her. It's the person that's under her taking these orders and know that whoever's come here to audit, we're not giving up these records.
But remember what you said about if they don't go along, they lose their check?
That all right then. That means they in the pot with her.
So I'm agreeing with you.
Right. You're right. You're right. You're 100% right. You're 100%. Most people will go along with wrong just to keep their check. And it's
But
still
not
wrong.
only that, now it's to a point where they're involved. Because it's
That's what I'm talking about. This is what
I agree.
this is the pitch I'm trying to get y'all to see. Everybody's saying Tiffany, 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 Tiffany. Remember, I'm not being paid by Tiffany. I don't live in the Thornton Township. I don't live in Dolton. I'll say this. She's not, if there's some wrong corruption going on, which I believe, I guarantee you she's not the only one. And I'm praying. Listen, let me say this too. I know, but we don't say that. But let me say, some of those same people that's accusing Tiffany right now, praying in their mind that she don't go to jail or that the feds don't come in here and get her. Because they know they going down with her too. They know it. But they got this facade. I'm telling you, some of the same people that's standing up talking about her in these public meetings and going against her. Well, I wouldn't say going to what doing. They got to do what they got to do. But I guarantee you, they are guilty for some of the same things that she is probably guilty of. I'm just saying, allegedly. I'm just saying it. I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah,
so she just got the spotlight. That's all. It's like a leader of a street tribe. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Did I cut you off?
No, just go ahead. Go ahead. Don't worry about it.
When you're dealing with politics, right? And I'm talking about white or black. We're not going to make this a black thing because the political arena is like a whole nother thing anyway. But when you're dealing with politics, we all know politicians skim and take money. She's not the only one that do that. Even the ones that do the best of work, we know they skimming. We know they skimming. But we, in your self-conscious mind, you say, well, if everything is getting done, fuck it, so to speak.
Watch your language, baby.
You know what I mean?
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I apologize. Mm-hmm. But at the same token, talk to me nice if you're stealing my money. don't have me come valid. Don't have me come up here and look crazy and ask you, just basic questions. Where's my business license? Where's my this? I'm just asking you minimum questions. Okay, thank you. And she just dismisses you. Talk to me nice, you stealing my money. Because really, that's what being a diplomat is about. We know they say one thing in the front of everybody to get your vote and to get you behind. Then when they get it, let's look at Brandon Johnson. He no different. He ran on no property tax. And they had to hunt him down for 2 months to lower that property tax. So it's not like we expect her to be an angel. But it's a way you move when you, one, dealing with people, when two, when you stealing their money, and three, when you over a lot of different things. First of all, one thing about the old white politicians, if one thing come up that they don't like, they step down. You don't see them fighting to stay in when they corrupt. They get up there, they come up with a speech. Oh, I'm going to focus on my family and I'm going to step down.
Not all the time. I know you. I know you're not from Chicago. I know you're not from Chicago. We had one politician been in here for.
But I've been following.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm not saying all, but I'm just saying certain things is a must when you're dealing with people money. You can't talk to people any kind of way. Listen, I was a crook, so I'm not here to say, oh, she did. I would never do that. But what I'm saying is, when I know I'm wrong, I talk to people like I got some sense. You understand? And then maybe they would give me the benefit of the doubt. But you got Alexis Wilson mother up there, and she's just looking at her dead in the face like, where's the diplomacy at? Oh, I'm sorry for your loss. Please, we'll talk to you. It's the way you handle people. So on top of a lot of questions that she's being questioned about, her attitude really, really has no diplomacy. And that's a turnoff for a lot of people when they looking at their house tax bills that's like a rent every month. You know what I'm saying? When you walking through the town and everything, all the businesses is shut down. When you got to get a lawyer to get something as small as a business license. So sometimes, yes, people may be jealous. Yes, people may be hating on her. But if you look at the facts alone, she's not helping in no way.
So, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question before I go to now. I see you 470. I'm coming to you. Can you tell me anything good that she's done in Dolton or Township?
No, let me tell you something.
No,
that she
answer
did
the question.
good.
This is what you tell me. Go ahead.
No, I am. She did something really good. No, I got something she did really good. What she really did was she brought people aware of government in the city. Because of her, a lot of people now, they're looking at their local school board. They're looking at their local taxes. And that's a big deal because a lot of people don't care. So a lot of politicians get to still in peace. So she really has opened the world to the game of politics. And I think that's positive because a lot of people should get involved. Even in Dolton, look at the voting turnout. They say it was low. Out of the 20,000 people, it was less than 2,000 people voting every term. So she's brought a lot of awareness to politics in the Black household that wasn't there before. And there's a lot of things I like about her. She is energetic. She can reach the people. She had a chance to be great. I would never sit here and say that. But how she navigated and how she moved and who she surrounded herself around, it really took from her opportunity. So I don't have a bunch of bad stuff to say about her at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well.
She's a nice looking, relatively young Black woman. And I feel like she had that spirit to change.
Right. Let me just say this. I want to cut y'all right there. For those of you just saying little smart comments and a thing like that, I'm not getting paid. You must don't. Evidently you don't know me. First of all, I can speak good to anybody. She's still a sister. And listen, at the end of the day, it was your mama. You want me to say something positive too. So, hey, it is what it is. I can't take back what she's done wrong or whatever, allegedly done wrong. That's on her. I'm not working for Dolton. I ain't got a thing fighting. I don't even live in Dolton. Some of y'all ain't never stepped foot in Illinois. You don't even, hold on, sister. No, hold it. I'm talking. Listen, okay. Y'all never had a conversation with the sister. Never. Don't know nothing about her. But what you hear and see, that's it. In the media, you know, some of you guys have taken a trip here to go to the council meeting and probably met her in person. And that's cool. But people, there's two sides to every story. That's all I'm saying. I'm not taking up for no bad behavior at all. I promise God I'm not. But some of y'all hatred is stemmed from jealousy. Because a lot of people feel like she can't speak well or she ghetto. Well, first of all, what is ghetto? Every time we say the word ghetto, we compare it to white people. If white people not doing it, it's ghetto. Black people, we got that bad. If a sister walked out, she would have bonded on her hair and she want to do it, that's her. Why that got to be ghetto? Because if white people don't do it, it's ghetto. And a lot of time, I challenge everybody on this live tonight. We can talk about it another day. What are you comparing when you call something ghetto to? What are you comparing it to? Don't answer the question tonight, but I'm just saying, when you call somebody ghetto or what they're doing is ghetto, what are you comparing it to? And I guarantee it's a white person. You done 215 because I got 470. You can hang around. If you done 215.
Yes.
Okay, 470. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mr. Johnson.
It's always a pleasure. Go ahead.
I agree with you. I think Tiffany's blatant attitude was the setup for the people that's behind the corruption to use as a scapegoat. What people never see, the community never talk about, is they only want to see Tiffany. They never talk about the attorney that's getting most of the taxpayers' money to either defend Tiffany or to defend the trustees.
Are you talking about Delgado?
Okay, let her talk, sister. She didn't cut you off. Let her talk.
I was wondering, was she talking about the law firm Delgado?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm talking about both attorneys.
Okay.
When I look at how the people of Dolton gave Olderson and the trustees a pass for the failed recall. They said nothing about the attorneys that should have knew how to word that. They got paid a whole over $200,000 for the recall, the attorney for a failed recall. They should have knew how to word that. They had did a recall on Tiffany in 2016 and it failed. Then they turned around and then they did another recall and it failed, but they still making money. They got a pass. They still making money to do nothing. When you look at how they say Tiffany is acting in the meeting, you got the trustees paying the attorney $30,000 to sit in that meeting. They're older than them. $30,000 to sit in that meeting to watch them get, as they say, Tiffany treating them bad. If Tiffany was really acting so ugly with the, so they say she can't get more people in there, why hasn't the trustees attorney spoke up? Why hadn't the trustees attorney, instead of the people, went to the attorney general, the state attorneys, filed lawsuits? They won. They lose every lawsuit, but they still on the payroll with the taxpayers' money.
They didn't lose every lawsuit.
That's not true. Olderson.
He did not lose every lawsuit.
I'm talking about the trustees attorney.
And he did not lose every lawsuit. They had 9 lawsuits. He won 5 of them. And a couple of them still in court. I pulled up the document, the facts.
You're not listening, ma'am. I'm trying to finish. I said, the trustees attorneys. They won one lawsuit.
No, they did not. They won 5 out of the 9. I have the court document. They won 5 out of 9 lawsuits against Tiffany. And about 2 or 3 of them is still in court.
Are you finished?
I'm just letting you know.
No, I'm saying I've been following it too. Okay.
When she done, hold on, 215.
You're right.
215. I'll give you a chance to rebuttal what she said, but let her finish out. Okay, that's how we do it on here. Okay. Rev, you agree with her, not or whatever? Okay, go ahead. All right, go ahead.
Right. The attorneys is still on payroll, and everybody else is suffering, regardless. The attorneys is being paid a whole lot of money, even with the trustees saying they're on a deficit, they still keep their payroll. The second person that nobody never speaks of is the accounting firm that they paying $45,000 to $60,000 a month. You paying the accounting firm that much, but everybody want to blame Tiffany for not turning over the work. Everybody want to blame Tiffany for not turning over the financials when they paying an accounting firm $45,000 to $60,000 a month. They should have turned the financials over to the attorney general. Should have turned the financials over to Susan Mendoza. Only person they turned the finances over to was Lori Light. The trustees hired and paid $400 an hour. Lori Lightfoot only reported on what the accounting firm gave them. When the trustees were saying, we ain't got no financials since September. We don't have this. We don't have that. But y'all never held back that accounting firm money, $45,000 to $60,000. If the accounting firm wasn't turning over the money, the finances, that wasn't Tiffany. Y'all paying them $45,000 to $60,000 a month to turn over the financials, and Tiffany is the one get blamed for it. When y'all paying $45,000 to $60,000, and they have yet to withhold the financials from the accounting firm have yet to turn over the financials that they paying. They never withhold them. And when you go back, ma'am, to the past, meetings and see who hired the accounting firm, Jason House hired the accounting firm. Tiffany never hired the accounting firm. Jason House hired that accounting firm. They never withhold that money from that accounting firm not doing their job and turning over those financials. They never.
When she's done, ma'am, I promise you, I'm gonna give you much time. Okay, this is a panel. I'm gonna let her talk. I'll let her land the plane 470. I'm gonna she want to rebuttal some things that you said, but keep going 470. Go ahead.
Yeah, the accounting firm the accounting firm, Kasperi, and all of them, they never turned over the financials to the trustees, who's their boss, that's paying them $45,000 to $60,000. Do I think Tiffany is responsible for some things? Yes, I do. She have a bad attitude, but when it comes down to doing all the stealing, Tiffany is not doing this alone. Tiffany got a whole lot of help, because
and shame
it's
the
certain
devil.
things that shouldn't have got this far. If the trustees could do what they're doing now, why they didn't do it years earlier? Why they didn't block the charge card years earlier? Why they didn't create the fireman a contract years earlier? Why the things that they're doing now that they didn't do then? And then for them to just say, we're going to keep Keith Freeman on because of the Whistleblower Act. Sure, I agree you can't fire him, but you still need to make him responsible to come to work and do a job and not sit at home. Don't come to none of the meetings. He don't come, never give a administrative report, and nobody have a problem with that. The only person people have a problem with is Tiffany. They disregard everybody else, what everybody else is doing, because Tiffany got a blame bad attitude, so everybody else is able to ride in on her bad attitude and get through all the corruption they want to get through. And that's why I feel like Tiffany is just being used as a scapegoat.
All right. 2:15. Then I'm going to come back to you, 9433. Let me hear your rebuttal, because I know you want to cut in. Okay, go ahead.
There was a lot of misinformation.
Well, let's hear it then. Let's hear it.
First, I'm going to go point by point. First point is the lawsuit. Delgado was Tiffany's legislative counsel when she was a trustee. So we talking about lawyers getting money, Delgado right up there with them. Second of all, when the Kasperi accounting firm was hired, Tiffany was a trustee, meaning she had to vote for it too. So she put them in office also. So now 3, Belcher calls out the accounting firm every meeting. You said you follow the story. She calls them out every meeting. But at the same time, Kasperi has been their accounting firm for 13 years. You cannot just up and fire somebody that has your whole everything at stake. Now, when Tiffany got on as mayor, she could have fired them, but she didn't want to fire them. And so those things are facts. Now, you said about the lawsuits. I understand that Alderson and them might have lost the recall once or twice, but once you submit your paper filings and your court filings, is at the judge's discretion. All you could do is your best, and he could have worded it a different way. If the judge don't buy it, they don't buy it. It's nothing you can do. So the lawyers is not doing nothing but lawyers. You know what I'm saying? So all these lawsuits, she stood up there and said that she was 24-0 with lawsuits. For them, there wasn't even 24 lawsuits. You know what I mean? And then you say, oh, well, she got a bad attitude. How dare you have a bad attitude when you're dealing with people money that they busting they behind for everything? You need to adjust your attitude, or you should not be a public servant. I think people keep forgetting this job is public service. She's not donating nothing. She's not doing anything that's not supposed to be of service to the people. And I don't want to get into all of how she look, how she talk, how she walk, and look at it's a lot of YouTubers that take their cameras and just walk around Dolton. It's nothing but abandoned buildings. There's no excuse. When they told Keith Freeman to come back to work, he reported to work. She pulled his office out and she pulled his desk into the hallway and told him he's to work out there. She harassed and demeaned that man when they told him to go back to work. So no, he don't have to go back there and be demeaned by her or for him to sue, and the taxpayers have to absorb that lawsuit. I think people hear tits and bits and don't realize how serious it is when you fire somebody out of policy, when you lock somebody out their office out of policy. And karma's not good. She took that tax assessor, locked her out her office, and you know what was the sad part? when she went to that caucus last week, guess what was missing on her ballot? A tax assessor. You understand? So the same people you see coming up, you see them coming down. So you can't just say, oh, Tiffany, she's not an angel. You got the same thing going on in two different places. And a lot of old folks would say, come on, they didn't walk like a duck. And I think a lot of the seniors, she has fooled because everything the previous caller just said was misinformation. Belcher constantly calls out Tangenique for making $90,000 and never being on the panel. She constantly calls out Stan Brown, which is the finance committee. Okay, she constantly calls out the spirit, and Delgado is supposed to be the trustees and Tiffany attorney. They couldn't even get him to get nothing posted on the agenda. So yeah, Alderson is fighting for the trustees. He may win some, he may lose some, but him lawyering doesn't make him corrupt. And I think that's not fair because Delgado worked for about 17 municipalities. Tiffany just got him in the school board with Darlene and them both. So when you get down to the nitty gritty, it's much more even in the play with Dolton and Thornton. And that's all I want to say.
Okay.
Ma'am, I think you do what Martin said. See what you did.
No, what I do is I go and watch all the
that's my point.
and form my own opinion.
Ma'am,
look
that's
at
my
the
point. See, that's my point. You listening to respond instead of responding to listen.
No, you don't want to accept the fact that you just said a lot of misinformation. You didn't correct anything you said that was wrong.
You did not say anything I said when you
Yes,
responded.
I did. You said that they lost all their lawsuits. No, they did not. You said that they did not call out the accounting firm. Yes, they did. On previous public meetings. I think people forget the meetings are public. They're filmed every month.
Oh, ma'am, I could tell now that you, first of all, you already got your mind made up.
It's not about having my mind made up. It's about you got on this app and you just said things that was incorrect that can be factually checked.
Nothing I said was incorrect. Yeah,
you did. You said that they did not. Martin, can you chime in? Did she not say that they lost all the lawsuits? And she said nobody is calling out the accounting firm. Now, am I wrong?
Absolutely.
If I'm wrong, I'll apologize.
No,
but you did say that.
She did say that.
But you're wrong, ma'am. I said they never held payment back from. Yeah, Belcher called out the accounting firm. That's the only way I know how much they made. I said, but you never heard them. Don't pay the accounting firm, ma'am.
You cannot do that. They got all their finances. Are you kidding me? It's a policy and a way that things have to be done when somebody has your whole financial health in their office. What if they say we're not releasing nothing until we get paid? You don't want to stand off with them. That wouldn't be right for the citizens. That wouldn't be right for the citizens.
Ma'am, it's not stand off. You in control. Why would you hire somebody and keep paying
Tiffany
somebody?
and Jason House was on the board together when they hired Conspiracy Law Firm.
Ma'am,
and that's in a public meeting on Dolton Trustees website and on Village of Dolton website.
Ma'am, first of all, I can see who you are, where you are. You don't listen.
No, ma'am, address the facts. Don't worry about me. We talking about stuff that's public knowledge.
That's what I'm trying to do.
You're trying to backpedal on stuff you just got on here and boldly said. And then when I offered you the facts and told you
never allowed me to speak. Like
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Now.
I'm sorry,
go
ahead.
That is so rude. How
okay,
can
I'm
you
sorry,
tell
go ahead.
Anybody anything when you are so rude? You are very rude. Who will listen to you?
To the facts. You just condone Tiffany bad attitude. Now I'm rude. You just condone her talking to people like trash, and they paying her $200,000 in one county and 50 something in another county, and you just said, well, yeah, she got a bad attitude, but
ma'am, I'm not.
So, but I'm fact checking you now. I got an attitude. No, it's old women like you that don't hold people like her accountable, and that's why the whole town is corrupt. Period.
Ma'am, how is fact checking?
She ain't the only one corrupt. She ain't the only one corrupt, and that's exactly what Martin's talking about. When that wasn't your whole call-in was to blame the trustees for not stopping somebody from stealing. But they didn't call her. Your whole conversation was bashing the trustees, ma'am. You went from they didn't call out this, they lawyer lost that. Everything you said was bashing them as if she didn't bankrupt the town.
Ma'am, it was not vested trustees. I said Tiffany couldn't have done this by herself.
I did say that, but you also said where was the trustees when they sued and it cost them $200,000. Now put it in context.
I did not say that.
They spent that $200,000 trying to okay, and you said it costed $200,000, and the citizens had to pay it.
But they lost with the same attorneys that lost in 2016.
And that's the trustee's attorney, Alderson. That's my point. You said you following the story, but you don't know the basic facts.
And you don't either.
I'm telling you the basic facts. That's documented with court documents.
You telling me your perception?
Oh no, I'm telling you what's on the court docket, ma'am. That's what I'm telling you.
And that's what I'm telling you. What's on the court document? They lost.
No, they didn't. They lost the recall. You said they lost every case that they sued against her. But my whole thing is this: let's say they did spend $200,000 on the recall. Okay, if the recall would have been,
this woman is not listening. Period.
Yeah, I'm not I'm not listening to you because you're not being honest and you're backpedaling all your points.
Okay, ma'am, can I talk?
Okay,
Please,
this is what we're gonna do. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all rebuttal each other. Okay, I'm gonna give each one of y'all 2 to 3 minutes. Then don't take it too long. Then I'll let her come back and respond. Okay, we'll do it that way. Okay. Let me get my clock. Let me get my stopwatch out together because I want to be fair.
Okay.
I want to be fair. I don't want to
interrupt me. So I'm never gonna get my
no. Okay. This okay. We going.
No, she can go ahead. I won't interrupt her.
Oh, okay. Let me get my stopwatch out or something, y'all, because y'all work at me. It's good information though. I'm listening. I like this though. I like it, but I don't like the fact you guys keep cutting each other off though. But go ahead.
I apologize.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, guys. Go 470. Then go ahead.
Okay.
470.
First of all, Mr. Dustin, I want to apologize for even having this type of behavior on this channel. Number one, Tiffany is horrible, and Tiffany's horrible. Even what she did today, you got a young black guy that wanted to run for supervisor. She had her goons to disqualify this little young black boy that could be out there murdering, could be out there in a game. He's trying to do something positive. The same black boy that she fired immediately when she got in to be supervisor that was trying to take care of his family. Tiffany fired him. Alexis Wilson. My heart go out to her, Makara Wilson. Intelligent, smart, black woman who heart hurt every time she go to that meeting. And to see what Tiffany said when her 19-year-old daughter got killed.
Terrible.
No, I'm not for that. To see what Tiffany did to Fanil Dukes, somebody that was her friend that worked for her and would fire her because she trusted her and told her what happened even before she told the police. Horrible. Do I think it's okay for Tiffany to take the taxpayers' money and pay her boyfriend $130,000 a year, more than the U.S. Congress made? And all he have to do is follow her around and hold her baby? No, wrong. Do I think it was right for Tiffany to take the money, taxpayers' money, and put it into a false foundation when really people out here suffering from cancer, really suffering, and she didn't do what she said she was going to do to help with it? All of that. Do I think it's wrong for Tiffany to talk to grown people, black men and black women, like they children, like they dogs, like they beneath her? No. Is it right for her to talk about Napoleon Harris, Carmen Carlisle? She called him a coward in front of the world. She called Carmen Carlisle Carmen Carlisle. Is it right for her to talk to them seniors like she never had any home training and block the streets off and close the village hall like that's her personal home and it's still closed today just because of her position? She feel like she have the right to close them people out and block. No. But what I started out saying was Tiffany blatant attitude made her scapegoat. And no, I'm talking about this lady talking about I'm blaming the trustees. No, I don't blame the trustees. The trustees have did what they could when they could. People like Belcher and people like Norwood, they didn't know the system. They didn't know corruption. They was just first trustees. Ed Steve used to call her out. He didn't let her get away with that foolishness like she get away with it now. Ed Steve would call her out. But what I'm not going to do is just sit up here and say I know everything, because I looked at a few channels. I'm not going to get on here and say I know everything. I don't even live in Dolton. I don't know everything. I'm not there. The people that's there know the inside and the out. I'm telling you my perspective, my perception. I don't know everything. I don't know. I'm telling you, my perception is that attorneys that's getting all this money from the taxpayer, that I can see, because I look at the meetings too, and I'm pretty smart and been in politics all my life, and I have a good perception of politics. But I'm not going to say I know everything because I watched a few YouTube clips. I don't know everything. I do know what I perceive and who hired who and what Tiffany did.
30 seconds.
And how and how Riley Rogers, how she mistreated him. That man ended up having a stroke and a heart attack. How Nikita Cloud ended up having a heart attack just working for her. How a whole lot of people have suffered at her hands. But we were talking about corruption and the money. Nothing about her behavior. And again, she did not get all that money by herself. And like Martin said, when the dust clears 215, you will see, just like every other town, they never indict one person. Kwame Fitzpatrick, he wasn't the only one they indicted.
That's it.
No mayor, Adams over there. In New York, they just indicted. They didn't indict him by himself.
4-0.
Say what you want to say.
4-0. I gave you 4 minutes.
She didn't do this by herself.
Okay, let's hit 215. 215. I'm gonna give you. I gave her 4 minutes, so because I'm tired. So I'm gonna start you off. Come on, 215. Go ahead.
I feel like everything she just said is why Tiffany focuses all her time on the seniors. She just made Tiffany case, because I never said I watched clips. I said I went back and watched the Dolton trustees meeting all the way from when Tiffany was a trustee. And a lot of people that she's in bed with now, she was in bed with then. She was over the housing committee. Now they're accusing her of stealing about 60 houses off the tax roll. So everything can't be people jealous of her, people hating on her. When I came in this thing, I just was watching as content. But at some point, you got to say, why is there over 29 lawsuits against Tiffany for illegally firing people? Why is it that the lady called and asked for help and she said the town had no funds? You have to at some point say to yourself, what is going on? She's not a victim. She's a participant. You know, if you watch the meetings, you know, every meeting she begs them to pay Homewood. When you look at her campaign contributions, Homewood is on there. Delgado is on there. So she sat back as a trustee and she synced the loopholes. And that's a lot of politicians doing that. I'm not bashing her for certain stuff, but what I am saying is, if it walks like a duck, it is a duck. And I've been federally indicted, so you can't tell me nothing about the feds if they only coming to get one person. I done did federal time, so you can't tell me nothing about stealing money. I used to be a crook. I know what a crook consists of, and what it consists of is keeping up chaos so you can steal in peace. And that's all I got to say.
Okay, hold it, y'all. I got 9433 been waiting. Then I got a new call, 612. Okay, 9433. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Thank you for holding.
Well, Marty, my grandma used to say, what you do in the dark, gonna always come into the light. And the man above sees it all. So if she stole, and yeah, I can totally agree. I can totally agree with the young lady. She manipulates the seniors because she knows she had their vote. She manipulated them. I've been watching Dolton online. I've been following the story. I got some 10 people out there. It's just her time to sit down. If you did wrong, you did wrong. When you can admit to your wrong, then that means you have grown. You have grown. And if you want to be a politician, a content creator, or a community active, somebody is always watching you. Always. Your eyes is always on somebody. Somebody gonna always watch you. So I feel like if she did wrong, sit down. It's time to take a chill. Fall back. You had your turn to shine, now it's somebody else. You got to give somebody else their spotlight. Okay. God gave you the opportunity, and you didn't know what to do with it. I'm done, Martin.
Okay. 612. Come on, caller. 612.
Hi, Martin. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I just want to bring it back to what the real issue is.
Okay, that's what I want to hear.
Yeah, the real issue, all this back and forth about Tiffany, the trustees, whoever else is really a distraction from who's going to still be there getting the money, and that's the attorneys. I mean, when I look at all of this, everything that everybody's saying on either side, Tiffany's side, the trustee side, it is all a distraction. Why in 2024 am I still watching the Willie Lynch letter play out? Let them all fight amongst themselves while we take over.
Ooh, oh, deep. Okay.
That was my point. The attorneys is the only one benefiting from everything.
At the end of the day. At the end of the day, they get money too. Yeah, well.
And what color are they?
White.
Color are they?
White. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at the same people, even today with the electoral, whatever. It's the same attorneys. The attorney with the J, whatever her name is, and no one.
Delgado.
Yeah, it's like her, Delgado, Burt, the school board. I mean, you can't just look at Tiffany and be like, oh, she's the leader. There are a lot of working parts in here. Do half the people realize that the school district is the one getting more money than anybody? And who's the lawyer? It was Burt Odelson. But let me see, last school board, he just got fired and replaced with who? Delgado. Wake up, people. Wake up, Black people. This is not about Tiffany. This is not about Jason, Kiana. This is about keeping all of them fighting, while the only people that have been in there for over 13 years is Burt Odelson and Delgado. I call them Tom and Jerry, and everybody else is a supporting character. That's what I came on here to say.
And look who's standing with Napoleon Harris. Oldest.
Exactly. And exactly. And that's the day before, right? The day before the school board traded him as their lawyer for Delgado. Just swapping the same people. This is not about Tiffany. I'm so tired of hearing Tiffany this, Tiffany that. They want to keep all y'all fighting. How about all of y'all come together, put the people to the side that don't live there, including Nikita Cloud. She don't live there. She's not an elected official. The elected officials get together and understand the bigger thing that's going on, the bigger takeover that's trying to happen. Dolton is prime land. Let's not forget about that. I'm from there. There was a time when we couldn't walk in Dolton without, it was only certain places we can go. So people aren't thinking. Everybody is Tiffany this, Tiffany that. I'm tired of hearing it because we are so blinded. And I would suggest that the next person that want to open up their mouth about how Tiffany is ruining anything, or the trustees, because some people feel like the trustees are ruining. Before you open up your mouth to say that any one person is ruining it, go check out the Willie Lynch letter and see what the heck is going on in your town. What's really happening? That's what I wanted to come on here to say, because I'm tired.
I want to hear 215
Read it.
responses.
The same attorneys is not keeping habit in the white community. They not. It's the same two attorneys and in all the black communities just, keeping up habits. But they not in the white communities doing it.
215, what you got to say about this? Since you keep up with all the receipts. 215? Area code 215?
I'm sorry, Martin, I couldn't hear you. Say it again.
I said, what you got to say about what the young lady said at 612? She was saying about...
They keep saying, Tiffany, no, I agree with her about the lawyers getting the money. But at the same token, Tiffany has appointment powers. Delgado was her legislative counsel when she was a trustee. If they were so grimy, when she got in, she knew they was grimy. So when she got into the mayor position, she had the opportunity to change that whole scenario. She could have went and sought out a law firm that was up and standing, black for one, if we want to play that card. So it's like, y'all keep saying, oh, it's not all her. No, we not slow. We know it's more people stealing millions and millions of dollars. But when you're in leadership, you have to put the right people in place. And if you and she put Delgado in place. And if it wasn't for her and Delgado being slimy, the trustees wouldn't even need to hire Odison. They could have went in an executive session and hashed it out and came to the people with a united front. But like I said, I used to be a thief. And when you're a thief, you need to keep up chaos so you can slide the money out the back door. And that's why she chose Delgado, because she knows exactly what his law firm is about, period. And just like Darlene Gray is on the Thornton board as a trustee, she's also on the school board. And Tiffany is also being sued because they fired a guy because he would not fire their current attorney and hire Delgado. So, yes, I agree with the lawyers is lawyering, but the point is they're keeping them around. Every meeting that I watch, every meeting you hear Tiffany Henyard say, I have appointment power. I appoint the attorney. I appoint the special accountant. They have attorneys for special things. So if that's the case, she put them in place. So either way, listen, shit rolls downhill. You cannot stand on business, be the leader, and then cower when it don't benefit you. It's either you're going to stand on business and put the right people in place, or you're going to move out the way. She had an opportunity to come in and change the whole thing. And she didn't. She fell right into the same crooked shit stuff. Tree trimming scam, concrete scam, asphalt scam. She came in and did what politicians do. So, I mean, y'all keep saying it's not Tiffany, no. But if she wanted to see change, she could have been that change. And she chose to be the get along gang. Now, like me and Martin said before, she might have had to, or they was going to remove her. You know, there's always some things in the back room, but she made that choice.
Yeah, we never said it was Tiffany. We said she didn't do it alone, but
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I want to.
She didn't start off with Delgado.
I want to say
that black lady attorney first that went on to be the judge, and then she had Delgado.
Oh, I want to say this real quick.
Came back for him.
Yeah. Let me just say this. Again, my doorbell ringing, my nephew. Listen, let me say this. I gotta answer the door. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, go ahead and talk. Go ahead, 215. I gotta answer the door, nephew.
I agree with the last caller when she said the lawyers are just getting money. I agree with that, but what can you do with somebody like Tiffany? She don't have 29 lawsuits in court because she's good to work with.
Well, that was our whole point, and that's what the point I started on, and you cut me off. The lawyers is the only one making the money.
Yeah.
But they're not, because she's still in it too.
Well,
that's the only thing I'm saying.
The lawyer making money off all the lawsuits, ma'am. All the lawsuits, they being paid.
And it's always Burton Delgado.
Yeah. So what I'm saying,
and if we go back in history, They have fired Bird. This is nothing new with Bird, even with Tiffany as a trustee. So on the back end, when you're dealing with these powerful lawyers and knowing the dynamics, like the insurance, is anybody aware of what's going on with the insurance in the township? It's all goes back to the attorneys, which goes back to that powerful wheel that's really turning. How do we know that Tiffany did not fight this wheel and that's why she's going through what she's going through now? I mean, we can flip it any way we want, but at the end of the day, the attorneys have been there. You're going to have lawsuits as long as you have attorneys because they're the only ones that win.
I agree with some of you saying.
215. Let me say this real quick and I'll let you finish talking. Again, I said earlier, for those that was on here listening, some of the people that's going against Tiffany right now as I speak had their hand in the cookie jar and they hoping and praying that Tiffany don't go to jail because they know she's gonna listen. If she go to jail for crimes they said she's done, they're going to. They know it. And see, a lot of people have turned what you call state's evidence. But see, these federal investigators, they're doing their job. They listen. They making people talk. I mean, they making people talk and sign paper. So we're gonna see when all this truth come out. We really gonna see. Some things we're gonna be surprised, and some things we're not gonna be surprised about. But right now, 215 and a 470 and 612, everything is just in the court of public opinion right now. It's really not. Right. She's not in the court of law right now. So she have not been arrested for anything. As far as I'm concerned, she's not guilty of anything right now. Now, we've caught her with some lies. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. Right. But in a court of public opinion, that's what she's in right now with us. We are the court of public opinion. And we know that the court of public opinion works different from the court of law. We know that. That's all I had to say. I just want to bring that out there. So some of her people that's going against her right now, they praying that Tiffany don't get locked up. They praying. Trust me. It's impossible for Tiffany to do all what they said she did, and she did it by herself. That's impossible. And I ain't no political person. I know that. Go ahead. See,
I agree with everything you just said.
Yeah, because a lot of people get mad. Oh, you taking up for Tiffany? I ain't taking up for nothing. I ain't got a dog fight in it. I don't live in Thornton Township, or Dolton. Listen. That's what they fight. That's they fight. I'm on the outside watching too. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. I'll give you an example. And I told y'all, those that follow me, when they voted her out off the ballot, I thought she wasn't even a town trustee no more. That's what I thought. They said, no, Mark, she's still the supervisor. I'm saying the supervisor. That's what I meant. The supervisor of Thornton Township. I thought, because when they were singing, nah, 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 hey, goodbye. So I thought it was it for her. I thought they didn't bumped out of position. That means that what happened that day, they bumped her off the ballot. So I didn't know. And I got online. I said, people, what's going on? Because I really didn't know. I found out too, a lot of people that was on my live, they didn't know the process either with the caucus. They didn't know. So I'm telling you, you are right, 215. What she have done, she have brought a lot of people together, and she have made us look at government different now. She have done that. I got to give her that credit on that. Yes, she have made some mistakes. Yes, she have been caught in some lies, obvious lies that you can't deny. For real. That's real talk. So that's my story. I'm sticking with it. Anybody want to talk? It's open. Marcus, anybody?
And Martin, I wanted to say she also made us recognize thieves. Thieves and thieves.
I'm still listening.
Okay. But let me just say, Go ahead, folks. Go ahead, y'all. Go ahead. I'm back up. I'm here for y'all. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I agree with a lot of your points about, it is what it is in certain things, but you can't ignore a bunch of business owners saying they're being shaken down for licenses. You can't ignore people saying when they come to the meetings, she won't even look at them and give her an answer. You can't ignore when people saying they call in different departments trying to get answers about their water bill, about all this stuff, and the mayor's telling them to do this or to do that. You can't ignore all that stuff. And even if you wanted to ignore it, so then when you go over to Thornton and Carmen and Gonzalez is saying the same thing, when do you say, hold on, what's really going on? So though I agree she's not the only one stealing by herself, she has made it very accessible for others to steal. Tangenique Miller sat on that meeting knowing it's publicly being recorded and said she paid $65,000 in cash for some banners. First of all, which government entity pay anybody in cash? Period. That should have been a check off the gate. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a lot of questions that fall on her head before you even have to go behind the scenes. It's a lot of surface stuff that she do blatantly. First of all, let's go to the caucus, something more recent. She used Thornton Township buses to bus her voters there. That was out of line. You can't do that. Now, she's allowed to bus her voters, but on her dime. There's no excuse for her locking the people out of Village Hall and they pay their taxes. So that's stuff that's up front that is on her solely. And don't get me wrong, there's always a puppet master in the back pulling the strings when it comes to politics, but at its face value, she don't even pass the face test. When them people came to that Dolton meeting in the heat, she had the whole street blocked off like it was a block party. All so they couldn't get in there. $1 million worth of detail for a mayor with 20,000 residents. She had that detail way before this thing blew up on YouTube. I watched the meeting all the way back from 2021 when they asked her to downsize that detail.
I remember when
so come on, we gotta be fair.
215. I remember she got the detail right after when we went to Tiffany House to protest for the Alexis Wilson getting killed by the police. Right after that day, that's when she had that detail. They was all around after that, that day. I remember that.
Right.
Clear as daylight. Clear as daylight.
And you're right about that. But okay, and I agree she deserves security. But come on, 8 people, 24 hours around the clock. Come on.
Right, because of her mouth.
And Mark,
but
I'm going to say this. Anytime you change the locks on the house that you in, you bogus. Point blank period.
Well,
period.
Right, but I'm
they ain't got nothing to do with the Dolton Village. Go ahead.
Right. But listen, with the Dolton, Mr. Martin, Mr. Johnson, I think that the powers that be that was winding her up in the back, which was Delgado, you see how quick he quit Dolton. Yeah, he quit. He got off the bandwagon. It's getting too hot in the kitchen. I'm not finna go to jail because this girl is blatantly out with, and now we live in an age with social media, so all her music is recorded and the whole world can see it. And she's on the FBI investigation, and she ain't calming herself down. She gets louder.
That wasn't it.
I'm not gonna keep going with that. That's what that. So that lets you know who behind it. Now, see, the other things that's running smooth, they still represent her with that. But with Dolton, when Lori Lightfoot came in and started uncovering stuff, Delgado, look, we out of here. We quit. We not representing you in no more lawsuits. That's what Delgado said.
That's not what the lawsuit said, actually. The lawsuit was, and I read the lawsuit in its entirety, it was about them not being able to pay. And the lawsuit actually said, we will continue to work with the village, Mayor Henyard, as she navigates it. So see, this is the kind of stuff. If we don't
they
have
actually gave a date on that letter you talk about. They gave a date that they would no longer be working for her after. That's why the last meeting they showed up at, I think it was like May or June. In the letter they said, but I mean, they can't say that out loud. They have to say it diplomatically why they quitting.
Right, absolutely. People just use common sense. They can come out and say, Tiffany's done a whole bunch of corruption. We quitting. They have to come up with something.
They do have to come up with something. And it's funny, but see, it's funny that if all this with Delgado, but now Bert is out of the township as the lawyer, and now Delgado's in the school district, the school district. Now he's the lawyer. So it's not about this. Again, it's not.
She put him there. She had Darlene vote. She's being sued for trying to get him hired there. She has an open lawsuit right now that they fired somebody that worked there 20 years because he wouldn't fire their current counsel and hire Delgado. That's an open lawsuit right now.
Yeah, and there are a lot of
y'all talking about. Are you guys talking about the Thornton Township? That's what you're talking about? Okay. Okay.
No, at the school board. The school board, Tiffany and Keith Freeman wanted Jerry's son, the trustee that retired. One of the people that work at the school year, been there 20 years. He's over who he appoints for the council for the school board. They wanted to give him a raise so he can fire their current council and hire Delgado. When he said no, they waited a month and fired him for insubordination. And then just last week, Darlene and them had the vote to still put Delgado in there. So she's not a victim. She's trailing them along.
Right. I'm not saying.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because Delgado, if that's Tiffany, what does Tiffany have to do with Delgado and the school district?
Because Darlene Everett, hold on, I'm about to tell you. I'm answering your question. Darlene Everett, her yes ma'am on the Thornton Township board, she's also on the school board. So if they get homes on the school board, then they will have a vote. So then they can control the school board, which you already said has what? The most money.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's why I'm just connecting the dots, because you're right, but I'm just connecting the dots. What I'm trying to get you to see is Tiffany is putting them in place.
Okay. Well, I got a new caller. Let me get the new caller and let's see what he has to say. 901, go ahead.
Community meeting, how's everybody doing?
Good.
Excuse me, I totally agree with
901. 901, I'm giving you 1 minute,
yes,
man. Because you're going to shake things up here. Now, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because 215, she's really cooking. If you listen to what she's actually saying, everything she was saying is correct. The lawyers actually had nothing to do with those things. Every municipality has to have representation for that. And if you actually look at the responsibilities between the trustees and the mayor, you'll find that the trustees have no access to those day-to-day accounts. So that's totally on the mayor. The trustees actually make ordinances, set budgets, and things of that nature, but they don't have the day-to-day operations with it. And if you look at what actually happened was, she went against everybody that was a problem that could uncover the things that she was actually doing. I think if you really want to look at it, I think the boyfriend probably had something to do with it. He had some influence on it as well, because as she was saying, 215 was saying, she was totally against everything for the 8 years, and she was a stand-up person when it came down to it. But when she assumed that power, then that's when everything started changing. And if you look at the people she actually put around her, almost every last one of those people have a very shady background. And then if you look at it as well, when it comes down to personal life, and as 215 said, in two different municipalities, the same things are actually occurring. And then what y'all didn't mention is that they was actually mixing funds between those two townships, which is illegal. And see, what they did was they tried to create a whole bunch of confusion, as 215 was saying, make it seem like I'm doing these things for the citizens and all the rest of those things while I'm stealing at the back. If you do your history on
RICO laws and how mayors get indicted, you'll find that that's what they'll do. They'll put up a front as if they're actually helping the people. And here's another thing. If you look at how she was actually running the city is not responsible for those services that she's actually providing. She's responsible for bringing businesses in and things of that nature. So you can tell where the deficit actually came from. Basically, what she was doing, she was actually buying votes by simultaneously, they was taking out the back. And if she do get indicted, the judge is not going to take two kindly to that. But one of the things I need everybody to understand as well, when those two gentlemen came on Martin's show a couple of weeks ago, if you go back and listen to what they actually said, they literally admitted to the crimes that they was actually trying to commit, that they committed. And they actually gave their opinion, not only their opinion, but they gave their defense. They tried to blame the previous administration. They tried to blame black woman thing and all the rest of those things. And the judge is not going to take too kindly to that as well. Because basically what she did, she manipulated those senior class people. So that's not, they are not going to take too kindly to that. And as the other young lady said, one of the best things that what she should have done, she should have went somewhere and sat down. Because what she's showing that she has no remorse at all on none of this. It was all about her. And the thing about it is another thing that if y'all remember, what they actually said was she was making contracts, and contracts supposed to go before the trustees. She was giving out contracts and was not even given permission for it. That's why they didn't pay those bills. And also, maybe y'all forgot as well, but I heard that the FBI has already talked to those contractors who didn't go before those boards. So they did exactly what they're supposed to do. And one more thing, and I'll land right here. Y'all might not think so, but the Woody Lynch letter has nothing to do with what's going on here. Nothing at all. Those things, the two things doesn't even equate. Basically,
Disagree.
what Dolton has done,
I disagree.
This should be a.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, let me finish it. Then we'll speak on it. This should be a case study that should be studied for history to come. Because what I see is a bunch of black people that's holding their leadership accountable. And another thing, she's running for a public office. So she's under that scrutiny. And that's all I got. So, and why you disagree, Mark?
I disagree because it is the Willie Lynch is being played, man, right now. They use example for the lawyers, man. The lawyers, they are the ones that's winning in this case. They're getting all the money. They're winning. The lawyers are winning, man. And they said it loud and clear. I mean, go ahead. And you know,
okay, but
go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, because I want to understand what's the link between the Woody Lynch letter and
because they pinning, you know, the young gets old. You know, it's a male against it's division. Willie Lynch letter is nothing but a division. That's all what it is. It's a division. These are two predominantly black, Dolton Township and Thornton Township, predominantly black, and it's a lot of chaos, confusion, man. It's a lot of confusion going back and forth, man. And the lawyers right in the midst of all of it and getting paid as they stated today. Go ahead.
No, but here's the thing. The lawyers, only thing the lawyers are actually doing is doing their actual job. I think they would have a lot of legitimacy if the population of the townships that you're talking about weren't African American. That doesn't make sense. What you actually have is you have a person that came in and tried to, like she did, dressed up like Nino Brown. She just went overboard with the whole situation, this whole thing. It has nothing to do with that Willie Lynch letter. What it had something to do with, she was not taking accountability, and then she actually changed the rules where the citizens could not even ask questions to their mayor, and she asked them back. Everything she did was basically a cover-up.
That's not true. That's not true. Actually, I know that's not true. You have to go before 2021. You have to watch the book. Actually, Riley Rogers changed that to public comment, not Tiffany Henyard. And
regardless of the fact, like, no, hold on.
It's always regardless.
No, listen. And that's not true. I know it's not true what she's saying, but as she said, She's the mayor. Don't she have the power to change it back?
She changed it, and her and SC got into a big argument in the
Exactly.
meeting because she did not. She told them they will email the people back, and they can email their questions in. And then every meeting after that, they kept saying they was telling the trustees that none of their emails was even being answered. So her first order of business was to take the people's voice.
And that's the first sign of trying to being covering things up. And then also some judges actually, and people have been filing FOIA requests and all the rest of those things, and she haven't even turned over any information. But what's going to happen
that's not for her to do. That's on Clerk Key.
No, that's for her to do because
that's on her. You got to understand.
FOIA requests are the clerk.
Yeah, but Clerk Key has to ask for the information from the department heads for her to turn in. If the department heads don't give Clerk Key what she asked for, she cannot turn it into the public. So Tiffany has told her administration, do not give them anything.
Yep.
And
has
that's why you don't
seen the warrant list?
She don't make. She makes the warrant list. Her and Keith Freeman was making the warrant list the last 4 years.
Jason House actually sent the warrant list. Jason House has sent out the warrant list. He's sending it down because they are doing responsibilities that they're not supposed to do. No, this is going back to 2022. No, he's sending the old warrant list. See, everyone's got to be up to date.
But who's making up? What she's saying is who's making up that list.
Thank you.
She's actually right about that. She's right about those things. I mean, you cannot release that information unless that mayor gives the go ahead to release that information.
Okay, but Jason has been the finance chair, so he would have that information.
He don't because they don't give it to him. That's why they in court.
May 26, 2021.
They don't have the access to how much of the credit cards that was actually being spent. All the financial information and the information that the trustees are required to have in order to set the budget, they have none of that information. They have
the
none.
Finance board meetings from January of 2021 and even going before that. But if we want to stay in 2021, let's start right before Tiffany got in.
They had any type of how meetings. 2021 is when she did the flip. When they begged her not to hire Keith Freeman without a background check, they begged her on the meeting. I watched it. They said, please don't do this. His background check didn't come. They begged her. And she had her mind made up because she knew he stole that $90,000 from and got away with it. So she knew he was her man.
Okay, so before Keith Freeman, right when Tiffany was elected, but before she got into office, the February 2021 finance meeting, the May 26, 21 finance meeting, what was said? What state was the village in? Because the Casper Group, Chris from the Casper Group, gave a full account of the troubles that were coming, and they also were almost not able to make payroll in March of 2021.
That wasn't true. If you go,
it's in the finance meeting.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. I heard you. Hear me out 1 second. When Tiffany came in, remember that was a pandemic. Okay, when she came, before that, they did have financial problems. You're right about that. But when they got them COVID relief funds and everything, it put them back on the board.
We're skipping because I'm going
she's moving the goalpost because the thing she's saying it doesn't relate to what's actually being said. It doesn't.
It relates.
Okay. Listen to this, y'all. Listen to this. Okay, hold it. 612. Now, let me get 612 3 minutes without no interruption. Then if you want to come down to 1 or 2:15 with a rebuttal, do so, okay? Let's hear Alpha. Let's give her 3 minutes. I'm going to put on the time clock. You got to do it in 3 minutes now, 612. Okay.
Thank you. I really don't. Thank you, Martin. I don't need 3 minutes because what I'm saying, I don't have to, it's not like I don't have to say, well, this is what happened, this is what happened. We have a saying, it's time stamped. So it happened. All you have to do is go to the Village of Dolton website and watch those meetings all the way through. And you have to watch every one, the finance meeting, the meeting after the finance meeting. Listen to what the Conspiracy Group was saying. And you can look at any time before 2021. So I'm not moving the goalposts. I'm just saying, can we start at the beginning? We can't just keep jumping around. Well, Keith Freeman this, okay, I get that. But what about before Keith Freeman? History, we cannot know how to navigate the present if we don't know the history. And it's right there on the Village of Dolton website. So there's nothing for me personally to be moving a goalpost about, because you can go back to 2017 and hear the Conspiracy Group say that in 4 to 5 years, Dolton would be in the state that they're in now. So how you go to the website and you look at that. So there's nothing for me personally to say, no, this is what it is. It's timestamped. It happened. Go look at the meeting. If you want to start 2021, please start at the beginning of 2021. Start in May with the finance meeting. Know where the finances were before, right before she got in, or you can go back to 2017 where they said in 4 to 5 years, this is where we're going to be. And it's timestamped, so it happened. It's not my personal feelings. It's timestamped. It happened. That's all I had to say.
Okay, can I ask a question? Hold on, before y'all enter. Okay, yes, you can. Hold on, let me ask a question. When you say they, who is they said that Dolton's going to be in financial trouble? Who are you referring as they?
Oh, I am referring to the Conspiracy Group, actually.
Okay.
The Conspiracy Group, the same people that are doing the accounting now, but no one has any information. But in 2017, it was laid out that in 4 to 5 years, and I'm saying, I'm not going to explain it because you can go and look at it yourself. There's nothing to argue with me about, but if we do basic math, 4 to 5 years from 2017 is what? Right when Tiffany got in. So, and then look at the finance meeting when Jason was trying to say before the mayor of Dolton right now, right before she got in, there's a surplus, blah, blah, blah. And Chris, another person from the Conspiracy Group, said, we have some concerns. When you say surplus, this is what this means. We barely have enough to pay the general fund. These are just facts that are happening. So, all this, the emotional stuff, just go look at it and see for yourself.
Okay.
And so when I say that, it's still the Conspiracy Group, all the way back from 2017.
Right.
3 minutes.
Right.
Okay. Okay. 901. 901.
Okay.
901.
Okay.
He got a rebuttal. Go ahead.
If you actually think about it.
3 minutes, 901. 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay. She just weakened her own argument. She weakened her own, but she went against her own argument. Because if you think about the concept, if they said in 2017, this is what we actually face, and understand what you're actually saying. But the thing about it is that means that Tiffany had a job and a fiduciary responsibility to be very frugal and be mindful of the things she was actually spending, and also attract businesses into that area. So that right there, that goes to show what you just said. It shows what she did not do. And not only did she did not do the attract businesses, what she basically did, she was actually giving out things and all the rest of those things that the city really has no responsibility of doing. They have no responsibility of doing that. Who would perform that way if your house is in deficit? Yeah, your household's in deficit, but you want to help your neighbor. I understand that you want to help your neighbor, but you first have to put your finances in order. So those things, and then, like you said, they have all that information, but I think we really got to understand and get a real good grasp on the basic functions of a government and how they operate. That's all I got.
Okay.
What I was trying to explain to her is, no, it was my turn. But what I was saying is, you was correct about 2017, but what I'm saying is, when we got COVID money, it lifted them up out of that deficit. And it put them in a healthy situation. Now, don't get me wrong, villages and townships always carry a little debt, but they were above water.
Yep.
That's why when she got into the office, it was a financially sound government. All she had to do was be frugal, bring in businesses, and handle the services. You don't cut down people's personal trees. You cut down the neighborhood public trees that's actually impeding on the town and stopping the sewage and stopping certain stuff. You don't go just alley and sidewalks, and you don't do that. You look at what the town needs, you look at your budget, and you repair the most devastating ones. You don't just start doing stuff because you got extra money.
Okay, can I ask you a question? 215.
That's the only point I was trying to make.
Okay, 215. Let me ask you a question. Now, it was a lady that got on one of these lives. I believe she was a Caucasian lady, and she was saying that they had a outstanding debt to Chicago for the water bill. When did that get satisfied, or did that ever get paid up? Do you know? Can anybody
It
answer?
wasn't never set aside. They still paying it. That's what I'm saying. They had some debt, but with the COVID coming in, and you got to remember, they bring in about 24, 25 million a year. They was bringing that in before she came in, and they kept the spending to a good 19, 20 million a year, always giving them a few extra dollars. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But when she came in, you got it, that 500, and that's a $500,000 check on what?
Okay, 470.
So she was not
$500,000 check. We never saw the back of that check, but I just wanted to the basics of.
So you need to see the back of a check to make it valid.
The basics.
Don't make them argument disingenuous.
Well, you
be
would,
honest,
but
be
that's
honest.
that's not the point of what I was trying to say. The point
Okay.
of
We'll
the
leave that one
basic.
alone.
I mean, we can go into that because if you're going to show
I
a front of a
because
check,
what
you
you said was a little
show a back.
disingenuous. That was a little disingenuous for you to say we didn't see the back of the check when she didn't even deny it. When they asked her about it at the meeting, she said, "Yeah, I signed it and I gave it to the asphalt company." So she didn't even deny it. So even if they saying hold on. So even if they saying that she didn't show the back, she admitted to it. So that make that point moot. So let's just be fair in the conversation.
With that one, I would say go look at Go Political because he's got the whole thing on.
No, I looked at the Dolton meeting when Belcher showed her the check and she admitted to it.
But
that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And have never admitted to anything.
That's
she
what I'm
did so.
saying.
She did
That's
so.
what I'm
She
saying.
did so. Belcher showed that check and she said, "Well, tell them what I wrote it for." And Belcher said word for word.
Lying.
That was after.
Exactly.
That was after. Listen, that was after she was embarrassed. That was after she was embarrassed. When they asked her about that check, somebody in the audience said, "What was it for?" And Tiffany said, "Thank you." Tell them what it was
the only
for.
one ever.
Wait a minute. And then Belcher said, "Hold on, let me finish this one sentence. I'm gonna let you go." And then when the audience member said, "What was it for?" and she said, "Thank you for asking. Tell them what it was for." And Belcher said, "It's for an asphalt company, but it has one signature on it." And she said, "Well, you lying. So how many meetings have we caught her lying? That's just like when Belcher called her out about them towels. She said she was lying, but they just got repoed.
That's the $500,000 check that was cashed at the currency exchange, right?
Mark.
No, that
wasn't true.
That was cashed at the currency exchange. That part wasn't true. So one part
it was a $100,000 check that she cashed at the currency place. The $561,000 check was written to an asphalt company. So people was kind of mixing the two up. But it was a $100,000 check that she cashed at the cash checking place. You see what I'm saying?
Like you in the room.
Also, you need
y'all
two
like
signatures.
y'all in the
Also,
room with
you have to have two signatures on any one of those things when it comes down to accounting. Just one mayor, one person cannot sign no check in any city in the United States of America. They just cannot sign no one check. You got to have. We have a thing called checks and balances. It takes 2 or 3 people in order to sign those checks. And what she was doing, she was signing checks and making contracts and making deals and all the rest of that stuff without the approval of the trustees. That's why the trustees refused to pay those bills, because they was illegal. It was illegal. So they had every right to do so. And when it comes down to the people that was providing the service and everything, they knew that. So they really have no claim against the city. They have no claim against the city.
And they just lost the lawsuit trying to sue for their money. One of them 9 contracts and deals she made, they sued Dolton for $300,000, and last week they lost because the judge said
they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose because you have to bid. Those things have to be bidded out. Those things have to be bidded out, and that happens all across the United States. They have to be bidded out, and it has to be approved by the trustees. She just can't go unilaterally and just make these business decisions and everything and keep them out. And that's what she done. She took everything on her own and said, I'm the mayor and everything. I'm the mayor. I'm the chief. I'm the HINC, and I'm gonna make all these decisions. And everything that they actually had in place, every checks and balances they had in place, Tiffany, she skipped the whole process. She did exactly what she wanted to do, and that goes to intent.
901.
And one of the things she's being accused of is forging forging Clerk Key's signature with the stamp.
215. Let me say this. Can I ask you a question? Because it seemed like you know everything.
Right, like she's right there in the meeting. Well, because at first I thought they was
she's brilliant. She's smart. That's all. She's smart. She's knowledgeable.
No, I did my research because I thought they was ganging up on her. So I started out seeing Tiffany.
Okay.
Then I started saying, well, wow. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Okay. What I don't hear mentioned anymore, remember they had that accusation about if you park in a certain spot, she was giving people tickets or boot or something. You don't hear anything about that anymore.
And that was a private parking lot, Martin.
Right,
that
right.
wasn't even a public parking lot.
Right. Then another thing that you don't hear about no more is she started with her Dorothy Brown. That was like her mother in politics or something. You don't hear anything about you. I've never, out of all these allegations, I think Dorothy Brown had the same position as Keith Freeman or something. I'm not sure. You don't hear her name.
You're right.
Nobody mentioned anything about her. Anything.
Because she got sense. Dorothy Brown got sense. She did her little corrupt stuff, got her check, secured her retirement, and went and sat down.
And that's what Tiffany should have done right there. That's what Tiffany should have done right there. She should have sat down somewhere. Because the thing about it, and another thing, actually, what's actually happening is, because let's look at this for what it really is. They got that chief and they got that administrative assistant. They already talking and everything like that. They got the goods on her. And the thing about it is, if you actually look at it, it's going to be a RICO charge. But my estimation is this: when the feds come out here, they're not trying to destroy the whole township and all the rest of those things. So they look at that as well. I think they just after Tiffany in her game. They're not interested in nobody else but Tiffany in her game.
Okay, let me ask you a question, 901.
Think about it.
901. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
When you say gang, the ones her present administration or a former, because remember, it's some people that's throwing rocks at Tiffany right now that was with her and probably was involved in some things too, as well.
Now the thing about it is now they're not going to go back and look at no former administration. You know why? Because
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Listen.
The reason why I say that, because if that was the case and everything like that, then they would have actually done it. See, politics, you said it yourself. No. Politics is a very strange game and all that. It's very strange. It's different rules. They have different rules for the regular citizen and politicians. I mean, we see those things now. There is a two-tier justice system, and we have to really admit to that. I think as African Americans, we actually think that we're on the same level. We get the same sort of justice.
No,
that is not true. The rich and the poor get a different type of they have different and then politically and all the rest of that stuff. She had that sister. She was powerful. She had 2 positions and everything. If she would have played that right, attracted businesses to both of those things, she could have been a rising star in the Democratic Party. She could have won as far as she wanted to go. That was a major, huge fumbling. And I hate to say this, but this is what happened when you put a small person in a big position. I'm done.
Okay, let me ask you a question now, real quick.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you guys say, and I believe that the FBI has been getting records and questioning people, subpoena records and stuff like that. So who are these people that the FBI, it had to be these people that was connected to Tiffany in some way or another, whether it be the people trying to get businesses, whether it was some former old employees or some people that she hired to do some work around the village, so that's what I'm saying. It's just more than her. They not just want to tackle her. Trust me. Of course, you say if you take the head, everything. the head of a snake, everything else gonna fall off. But it's some people that have turned state's evidence, I would say that. No, they was involved in probably some wrongdoing. But now they're throwing stones.
Those are the ones that no, but those are the ones they actually got, because if you think about what it is, if y'all notice what they did, they cold-blooded this. Y'all gotta understand when it comes down to the FBI and those forensics examiners and everything, they invented the game. They invented the game. These federal judges, they already know about when you giving out charity, like 250, you were saying, you cause all the confusion. You give out charity on this end and you're still on the back end. They got those forensic audits, man. They can track everything down to the last penny. That's how skillful these people are. They go to schools. I think he actually had to have a PhD when it comes down to it. They're the top of the class, the top of the class. When they go through everything. And that's what's taking a long time. And to be honest with y'all, don't be surprised if she gets charged. I'm not saying she is, but if she gets charged, y'all gonna be surprised at how many charges she actually gets.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually get. And the thing about it, when it comes down to it, her hiring these people illegally, a boyfriend, they looking into all that.
Well,
So
let me ask you a question. I believe you got a degree in political science, maybe 215. You seem like you're very well read. Let me ask you guys a question. Is it against the law of Dolton's ethics or whatever to hire a relative or a person that, you sleeping with or on the job? Is that, what's going on? Somebody help me out on that.
I mean, nepotism is not illegal, because if we look through politics, nepotism is everywhere.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
But it depends, though. That's 215.
Go ahead.
So 215. 215. It depends. It depends. You kind of right. But if you look at that case in Boston, when they got that other sister, they just indicted her because she hired her relatives. So
okay,
it
you right about that.
So it depends. And the thing about it, I'm not just well versed on that, but the thing about it is that is very frowned on. Every municipality, every city has a policy against those things because it breeds corruption.
Right.
So
I think, but
I would err on
things that's unethical is not always illegal, and that's where it gets murky at.
Do you want to hear from someone who has experience in government?
Okay.
I would say 75 to 80%. 75 to 80% in the United States is frowned upon, and some to protect themselves. That's why they have that law.
Okay.
To protect themselves. That's exactly why they have that law.
Let's hear what 612. She said she's working in government. Come on, 612. Go ahead.
Okay, I totally agree with what both callers are saying about employment. However, and it's not that I agree that with this, so I don't say I agree with it. But here's the difference. He wasn't an employee. This was a grant. And
that's true.
I think that I do think that that's frowned upon. That if you want my personal thoughts, yes, that's, she should have known better than to do that. That's my personal thought. However, he was not employed. It's a grant. And additionally, this is a grant with the state of Illinois. This is not one, basically it's a national grant that every state gets. So, and right there in the township, they have that grant. She put him in charge of that grant. Now, if there's anything wrong or illegal with that grant or with him doing that, overseeing that grant, that's an easy fix. That you go right to the Illinois, the Illinois Department of whichever one, Human Services, or whichever one gave them that grant, and you look it up. And you look it up.
Here's what you just said. You said what you describing is.
I'm sorry, the Illinois Department of Violence, the Violence Prevention. Illinois Department.
No, that's what you just described, ma'am. You described a federal grant. That's a federal grant.
Right.
If that's a federal grant, if that's a federal grant, and they misuse a dime or a federal grant, and see that's what with us got these nonprofits and all the rest of that stuff. A lot of us get prosecuted on that. If that's a federal grant, that's worse than what it's state. You might be able to get away with it, but if it's a federal grant, that's another charge. And then think about it like this, y'all, and don't be quiet. They can hit them with racketeering, money laundering, And if you think about it, think about it from this standpoint also. If 2 or 3 people come together in a criminal conspiracy, that's a RICO charge.
Period.
This is serious. This is like 215 was saying, she was in it, she already know about it, and I'm sure she know about RICO laws and everything. If 2 or 3 people come together with the intent of defrauding, and then here's the trip part about it is, some of them don't even have to know that they was involved.
Right.
If they should have known. Yeah, they should have known because they got this standard called the reasonable proven person. That means that if anybody else in that position, if they smell something that was illegal, they should have reported
it.
Okay.
Yeah, you mandated to report those things.
This is a grant.
When you get awarded a grant, hold on, let me respond real quick, please, 20602, real quick. When you get, because I write grants for my business all the time for myself, and when you get grants, they come with stipulations and criteria you have to follow for that money. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm opening up a youth department and I'm using the whole grant for payroll." Like for instance, I got a grant for my flower farm. The grant specifically says for infrastructure. I can't go pay nobody to help me harvest my flowers this winter with that money. I have to buy infrastructure with that thing. And if they come and find out that I was spending the money willy-nilly and it wasn't on the stipulations and the criteria of that grant, my ass is grass.
That's fraud.
Period.
And you would get she would get prosecuted for that. Like she said, to put it simply what she's saying. If they give you a grant for this right here, it has to be spent for this right here. And the thing about it is you have to report back what it is that they actually gave you and how you spent that money and who you spent it with, the time you spent it on it. They want to know all that stuff has to be accounted for. Every dime has to be accounted for.
Exactly. And again,
every
the
dime.
Grant, and is that grant over? Is that grant done?
I don't know anything.
No, it's not. But if you all are looking,
it's done. It's done. They gave her $1 million grant.
Okay.
And she got the $1 million grant.
Okay.
Okay, let's let 470 talk.
And
470, let 470 get something. Okay. She been real quiet. Come on, go. I'm sorry, 470. I'm so sorry. Forgive me.
Sorry, 470.
Sorry, 470. Go ahead.
No worries. It's just that I'm gonna go with the grant. If everybody on here look at the FBI subpoena, it's asking about everything from Kamal Woods, from the application to the vacation time to the trip. It's a federal grant. So I'm gonna say this too. Everybody don't know everything. Everybody's not a jack of all trades. We got people on this call that know more than the people that's actually inside. These people talking like they know more than the trustees.
You don't know the educational level that you're talking to, Bam. You assuming you don't know what I'm a lawyer.
First of all, I do. I know my educational level, and it ain't a street level. I got a PhD. I'm a doctor. So my thing is, it ain't got nothing to do with education.
In gender studies or underwater basket weaving, which one? Or knit?
Nothing like that. So you can tell how I talk that it's not the way you talk.
That's why I asked that question.
It's not the way you talk. Like, know everything. Because I realize that nobody is a jack of all trades, and you definitely don't graduate summa cum laude from watching YouTube video about a town that you don't live in. So nobody knows everything, and they're not even there. That's my point. So you have to give everybody an opportunity to express their opinion. So the thing about it is, with the federal things, the FBI, they're not playing. They're not playing. Regardless, all the ghost people that Tiffany got on payroll, they already know that. If you look at the subpoenas, so the YouTubers that y'all look at, all the clips, it show everything that they subpoena. Jerry Jones, don't think he just quit. He just stopped being a trustee because he wanted to. Jedediah Brown said he did this and that. No, Jerry Jones was under subpoena investigation from the FBI. Coleman ain't just talking. She's not just talking just to go against Tiffany. She under FBI. look, if we already got,
We agree with that. We agree with all that. We
Yeah,
not
we're
disputing that.
let me finish talking. Okay, my thing is, I live in Georgia. They got RICO charges against Donald Trump them just for voters. You go against the federal government, they coming at you. RICO charges. They got like 20 with Donald Trump and RICO charges. We just did a YSL trial. RICO
But
charge.
that wasn't federal. That was a state RICO charge. It's two different things.
Yeah, that's two different things. And actually, he called and asked for votes.
We know that. You got to let me get to the point.
Can I intervene and say something?
No.
You gotta look.
No, let her talk.
No, the point I was trying to make about
470. Come on, y'all. Y'all give her respect, please.
I was
Thank
just
you.
trying to make a point about RICO. It had nothing to do with federal state.
Ooh, my phone went off. I'm sorry, y'all. My phone hung up.
Hey,
It does
caller,
that.
this is Martin G, aka the Crime
She's still
Chaser,
talking,
live,
and
uncut,
I'm off. I'm
unedited
sorry, people.
broadcast. Just before you speak, please turn down all your audio. Please turn them off or down, and do not have us on speakerphone so we won't have an echo, and we'll be with you shortly. Thank you so much.
At the tone, please record your name for announcement.
I got disconnected.
Said that boyfriend, this gonna trip you out. He
Okay.
stood up there and
Hey,
said
y'all, would
somebody
y'all
said
hold
he
it?
was making
Hold it.
100,000.
Listen.
He said he.
Ho- 901, I need to go back to 470 because I got disconnected. I know she was talking about Donald Trump or something. Then we'll go back to you, 901. I got disconnected. I couldn't, they disconnected my phone, and the audience couldn't hear you guys as well. So 470.
Yeah, I was just saying how easy it is to get RICO charges, and how I was using Donald Trump for an example in the YSL trial. And so they were saying it was state. I said I was just using it for example, how easy it is for them to charge you with RICO charges. And when they subpoena so many people up under Tiffany administration that would consist of RICO charges. And I was saying that even with the trustees, I don't think, and this is my opinion because I'm not an expert at everything. I don't think Jerry Jones gets up and quit. I don't think it's just a coincidence that they just indicted Freeman and Lacey. I think all of this come into play of them trying to bring the bigger structure down. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't know everything. I'm not an expert. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a trustee. I'm not a mayor. I'm not none of that. So I'm not an expert whatsoever at anything. Everybody's perception is different than what they see on TV. I could say, I see that cat as black, and you say I see it as dark blue. But what does it make either one of us wrong because we got a different perception? But the real people, like Martin said, that it affects, it's the people in Dolton. They're right there on the ground, Thornton Township. You got smart people there. You got Paul Roberts. You got Carl Wilson. You got people there that's boots on the ground, that's right in the room. They're not, some of the clips that you don't see, some of the things they not televising, some of the things the YouTube was not getting, but they right there inside. And it's some smart people in that group. Dan Lee, you got Thelma Price, you got Thelma Price, you got Mary Avant. All these people know. So if these people is in the room, on the ground, been fighting for this, why do a YouTuber that just watching clips think they know more than Mary Avant, everybody else that's been fighting for this cause since Riley Rogers been in there? So
because they needed the YouTube to bring it to a national attention. The local news stations was ignoring the things that was going on because Dolton was a 20,000 citizen black town that they could care less about. So once the YouTube world got into it and started blowing it up and putting it on blast, it got the notoriety it deserved. And that's what public is supposed to do.
Okay.
And not only that, that's why I said if you actually think about it, this should be a case study that should be studied, because what you actually saw, you saw the people rise up and say that these things are wrong, and this was going on for a while, and so they did this. I got to give it to them. Them trustees, they should be the person of the year, because this is beautiful what they did. They played some hardball, and not only that, then they turned around and got her kicked off the Democratic ticket, and that was, as I was telling Martin a couple of weeks ago, they abandoned her. Y'all got to read the whole signs. They abandoned her. They threw her to the wolves. She has no friends left. And if you look at the people that's actually around her, just look how unorganized that is. Tell me one time that you all ever have known that a mayor that would have the person over food service as a spokesperson and giving legal advice. Does that make any sense? Come on, now you had to laugh yourself, so you know it's in disarray. You know it's in disarray.
She don't want to take accountability. She gonna use anybody that would allow her to use it, because she don't want to take accountability for anything.
And the thing about it is, if y'all think about this, what do y'all think about her taking that money and spending that money and willy-nilly and doing all the rest of those things? Because actually, she didn't run the city like it was a business. She ran it like it was like a nonprofit or something. And you can't do that. You can't do those things. She's talking about paying people lights and doing all the rest of these things and giving people food. I wish they would do it where I am. They don't run out of money so quick.
That's where you got to make sure you understand which thing you're talking about. Are you talking about Dolton, or are you talking about the township with the food and the lights? Because they have that in your state. It's just probably called something different. We all know it to be. But the city's not doing that though. The city's not handling those things. Service.
Yeah, they do. But I'm saying, regardless of the fact whether it's a township or it's what you call the city is in business to take care of the basic necessities, as 215 said. Those things is for streets, schools, infrastructure, law enforcement, fire department services, those things. And if they have some extra or something like that, they'll probably donate to a nonprofit. That's why they go into those partnerships with. The city is actually in business to keep the taxes down, things like that, things of that nature. They're not what she's doing. She's giving out freebies.
Okay,
that's what she's doing.
Again,
that costs a lot. And that costs a lot of money. That costs a lot of money. Two different things. No, regardless of the same, but it's
no, it's not.
It's still the same thing.
It's not.
Ma'am, it is. We have basic laws. Now, 407 said everything like that YouTubers are saying this and everybody got different opinions and everything. That's the reason why we have laws. These things are written down on paper.
Yeah.
That's what you call
the law is that the township exists to provide those types of services. That's law.
No, Martin, have you ever heard anything like that, Martin?
I'm gonna be honest with you. All I know, this is what.
Hold on. To be fair, be fair, the township does provide resources and service for crisis, whereas though the mayor position is over the services. But the thing that everybody's missing is she's blowing all the money on cookouts and spilling it, whereas though the people are not getting the services. It was a lady that came to the meeting and said she's from Thornship, she's homeless. She called for help. They said it was not no money to help her, but yet she's getting on TV saying it's a $9 million surplus.
And we can also look at all the parents that have the free after-school programs.
That's a federal
they
grant.
Rely on those.
I'm sorry.
That's a federal grant. Those after-school programs are federal grants.
The township runs on all grants. The township runs on all grants. They have no
exactly.
Exactly. But the thing it runs on. Listen what I'm saying. They all run on grants, but like as 215 was just trying to explain to you, that money that you get, you cannot use those things for everything. They have to go for the reason they was granted for.
Right.
That's why they have to do that. They just can't do what it is. They have. If you get this thing for this, it has to go to this. You can't take it and put it somewhere else. You can't.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Now we do have a program here, what you call Cedar, that pays your lights and gas. So we do have we do have that program here in the state of Illinois.
But Martin, if you look at it, 9 times out of 10, those grants, those funds come from the federal government, and it comes from like rich people who donated and stuff like that. They don't come from the cities. Because if you think about it, the cities already got a lot of stuff they actually have to pay for. Those things come from federal grants. Those are federal money.
Okay.
And that's why it's a
village.
That's why it's a
city. The village.
Oh
is
man,
not a
we talking about
city.
Thornton Township.
Okay, but okay. Thornton Township is a township.
Talk about Thornton
Dolton
Township. Okay,
is
but
a
what
village.
you saying? Okay, but let's stay on Thornton for a half a minute.
Okay.
Thornton Township job is not to produce income. They solely provide services. Am I correct when I say that?
Yes, I would think.
Okay,
so
being as though they don't take in no type of income, they solely depend on grant money from the federal government, and maybe some state and local governments come too. Grants come at different times of the year for different things from different sources, but the whole entire township is funded through grant money.
No,
So
they get 5% taxes. They get 5% of the taxpayers' money.
I'm talking about outside of the taxpayers, ma'am. I'm talking about outside of the taxpayers.
Oh, I thought you said the only income was from grants.
Yeah, it is, because the taxpayers is not an income. That's the town keeping itself afloat. Whereas though when you, like, say for instance, as the mayor position, they have things that bring in income. They have the stoplights, they have the traffic lights, they have the citation tickets. Those things bring in income and save the taxpayers money. That's what it's supposed to do. But over in Thornton, besides the taxpayers' money, everything is solely funded on grant money. So when you keep saying, the YouTubers, yeah, the YouTubers brought awareness to that thing over in the township, and then the government stepped in because, like he was saying, them federal people came to see about that grant money. So when you have a whole township floating on grant money and she's messing with the money, then that's a big deal.
And then
because just think about it like this. The feds didn't even get involved until the Thornton Township got in it. When he was nobody didn't care.
You all keep misconstruing what I'm saying. Y'all don't listen.
I'm sorry. Clear it up. I'm sorry.
Y'all don't listen. And I can tell you,
no, you keep switching. You keep switching. No, you switching, ma'am. You switching.
No, I'm not switching.
No,
y'all said the YouTube. I didn't say nothing about the YouTubers. I said,
ma'am, you've been saying the whole time we only watch clips. And I keep telling you that I watch the meetings. I'm not watching no clips. You didn't accuse us of that the whole time,
ma'am.
Listen,
you won't listen.
I apologize.
I said y'all in another town watching clips. Whether it's the
and I'm telling you, we're not. We're going off of the meeting. I'm speaking for myself. Me.
See, okay.
No, you're right, ma'am. 20215. How you know? You talk about education. How can you tell? How can you tell us what
she don't listen? She don't listen. She ain't listening in class to learn anything.
Man, your legs should be tired. You've been backpedaling out. You've been backpedaling.
No, I'm not backpedaling because y'all don't listen. You don't listen to what I'm saying.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Clear your point up.
I said everybody on here acting like they got a PhD from watching what's going on in the village of Dolton and Thornton Township from the meetings or YouTube. That's it.
Because we say in fact.
That's not true. That's not true.
Okay, you attacking our character and you don't want us to say
oh my goodness.
Do you all live in Dolton? Do you all live in Thornton Township?
No, man, regardless of the fact, there are rules, there are laws, there are basic laws.
But you all,
right here that you say all this, but listen to what I'm saying.
Okay, 901, let her finish.
What I said.
Let her finish.
Right, I said you all keep misconstruing what I said. I said nothing about it was wrong for YouTube. Nothing about it was wrong to watch it on TV. I said we on here, people on here acting like they experts.
How? We having a conversation. How?
Because it's not like you having a conversation. It's like, this is what it is. Bottom line,
I mean, if
Your
the
opinion don't
point
matter.
of the word legal mean it's factually already proven and documented.
Ma'am,
So if we're
about a
speaking facts,
Stop.
then you're
not an
upset about
attorney.
it.
You're not
I don't
an
have to be.
attorney.
I don't have to be the no basic.
You do, because you act like
everybody in America know if you get grant money, you have to do what the grant money
you act
says.
like you're
You don't have to know everything to know that.
Everything we
No, you
talked
just
about
you the
tonight.
reason why Tiffany pinpoints the seniors. You the exact reason.
Yep.
You're
No,
the
I'm
reason.
not.
Yep.
Yes, you are.
Yep.
Yes, you are. You're the
Yep.
reason. You misconstrue
What
everything. Move the goalposts.
You know everything got to do with Tiffany.
No, I don't know everything. I know what I'm talking about
You
when
act
they
like
ask me
it
the
so.
question. No, you mad?
Okay.
You never give nobody an opportunity to get their facts out.
Yeah, because every time you get an opportunity to get facts out, you say something attacking and underhanded. You keep saying, "Oh, nobody got a PhD or nobody can watch YouTube clips." Like you've been really disrespectful the whole time.
Yeah.
So don't try to do it like that, ma'am.
612, can I talk? It's all about perspective. Now, I know from what I heard from 470, what stuck out to me is she said everyone does not have all the facts. That's what stuck out to me. When we start to take it personally, that's when, the conversations can't be a conversation. What I've witnessed here, just with myself, when I go to make a point, I'm interrupted. And that's quite disrespectful, regardless of, and that's the problem in our community. We are not listening. As soon as someone says something that makes us feel disrespected, we can't just hold it until they're done with their thoughts. And this is what's disappointing about this conversation, because I've tried to jump in a couple times and it's like, and so I just stopped. And what I just witnessed with 470, that was very disrespectful. Because she's a senior, okay, what about the young people? I haven't heard anybody who everyone's name, I haven't heard anybody talk about the youth. So, we can do this senior versus but again, this goes back to when I came on this call and I said, I'm watching the Willie Lynch letter. This is part of that. We can't even listen to each other. That's all I got to say.
Putting your hand with the Willie Lynch letter.
Yeah.
No white man is in this dividing and conquering. You have somebody that had a beautiful chance to make history. They gave her two powerful positions, and she chose to surround herself with the wrong people. Now, granted, we don't know everything, but we do have eyes and ears. We are a part of the USA, and when the news reports stuff, and you have court proceedings going on where judges is putting out orders, and we're reading the orders, we have a right to say that's factual. We don't have to change our point.
Yeah, no one has a change.
I don't care what YouTube clip came out. If I read the court documents, I read the court documents. So no, I don't have to let somebody finish disrespecting me before I intervene. That's that old school
and
thing.
also,
y'all like to disrespect and want people to stay in their place when y'all wrong. No, it's okay to be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
And also, y'all can
hold it, 901.
Defend your point.
901. Let 612. I want to hear what she has to say. Go ahead.
See, the main thing in my last comment that I said was, we're not giving each other a chance to speak. I didn't say anything about, somebody needs to be quiet.
That's not fair to Martin though, because he's giving everybody a chance to speak. He's silent.
He won't let nobody talk.
Okay, but
so don't disrespect Martin like that, because he has given y'all chances to speak. So stop disrespecting him like that.
Actually, right now, young lady, you're the one that's disrespecting Martin, because, let me finish my statement. He just asked you to give me a chance to speak. And you interrupted me. And you interrupted. No. You interrupted me.
You talk. 215.
Me.
215. Just slow down. Slow down.
We can't talk with you.
This. Okay. Just this what I need y'all to do. Let her talk until she said, when you say I'm done or land the plane, that's when we're going to rebuttal whatever. Okay, go ahead, 612. Go ahead.
Okay, the only thing the point that I wanted to make was, can we let a person finish their thoughts? I did not say I did not get a chance to speak. What I said was, when someone goes to interject when I've been speaking, I've been silent. I quiet down, even though I'm being, interrupted. The point of what I was trying to say is, what if we feel disrespected? It's okay. I didn't say anyone was wrong. I just said, can we let each caller finish? And as far as me disrespecting Martin, again, if I disrespected you, I'm going to say I'm sorry. What I heard was Martin asked to give me a chance to speak, and once I started speaking, I was interrupted. That could have waited. You could have said whatever, and it would have been okay if you would have just let me finish. And that's my only point. This is how we get off topic. Everyone wants to interrupt, and I'm done.
Okay.
Okay. Everything you just said, everything that was just said was, I don't know where that came from. A healthy debate is very healthy when it comes down to a democracy, man. So the thing about the situation is, and the thing about what it is you all can't defend your position. So you resorted to ad hominem attacks. But let's move back to what we're actually talking about. Defend the points that's actually being made. Let's try that one. I'm done.
Okay. Let me say, I want to make a comment real quick and you guys can finish talking. It's coming to my spirit that I know all the trustees was actually junior trustees when Tiffany came into power as the mayor. So you got to give it credit. They probably know what's going on and how to run things, and they new to the political arena. And when you come in the door, you trying to figure things out, and by Tiffany having two years, 2 terms, 8 years experience, so she knew she could make certain moves without them really knowing what she was doing until they caught on to what she was doing. Then I think that's where the problem came at. That's what I think the problem, because those like Jason Howes and the few others, they didn't even know anything about trustee. I think only one I think was probably more experienced was Andrew Holmes. That's my personal opinion. This is what I see. So maybe somebody can elaborate on that. Help me out.
If you actually think about what he did in that last press conference and everything, when the allegations came on about that misdeed that happened in Las Vegas, he was quiet on that. And I've been thinking about that as well, because if you look at the purpose for that meeting, when she called it about the caucus, he did not mention it one time. I think he's going to be implicated in this as well. And basically what he done was he tried to invoke all those emotions and everything, tried to bring Dr. King and all the rest of that into it. Then started talking about a black woman, really just deflected from the whole situation. And then he started attacking the actual audience. So they was trying to spread the narrative on that. To me, he looked like he was kind of scared of what's actually coming down. I agree with you. If anybody had something to do with, he knew what happened, what was actually going on. But I have a sneaky suspicion that it was her boyfriend that was getting in her ear, to be honest with you, because she was online. If you look at for those 8 years, and she could have had a brilliant career. That is a fumble. That's a fumble of the century right there. She fumbled this big time. And I'm done. I mean, because if you think about it, she could have been very high. I can see her going as far as Secretary of State.
Yes, all black.
Back in there, man, she could have been
in there.
Because if you think about it, she looked the part. She actually dressed the part. She dressed to the nines all the time. And somebody mentioned the other day, we're not talking about her wigs and what she's wearing. I disagree. Because the feds,
she looks nice
if they do indict, they gonna bring all that stuff in there. All that stuff in there. The trips, the makeups, the wigs, the makeup artists, all that stuff comes into play. When I say they got those forensic accountants, they track all that stuff. Because if you think about it, if she did embezzle the money, I'm not saying that she did. What did she spend the money on? They have a burden of proof. They have to prove that she did that. So all that stuff that she purchased, everything is under scrutiny. Everything.
Mr. Johnson,
go ahead.
Belcher and Norwood, they were the only new trustees.
Okay.
That's why Belcher, she didn't learn the game. That's why she was the only one calling out his Tahoes and the $500,000 check.
I stand to be corrected.
Belcher was the one calling out stuff, and Norwood would, she would, be confused. What about the RFF? She's the only one speaking. No senior, no older trustees that has been in that seat ever. You never heard them speak up. But Belcher and Norwood, they was brand new, so they didn't know the game. So Belcher will holler out, I mean, y'all spending all this money. We spending $29,000 in interest on police cars. And they would brush that up under the rug. Belcher would bust out, why are we paying the Kasperi group $40,000 to $67,000 a month, and we never require them to be at any of the board meetings? Norwood was bust out. We ain't had no RFPs and God knows when. She would say, we supposed to have RFPs. Them the only two that was calling out Tiffany corruption in front of the world so everybody could see actually what was going on. Otherwise, we still would have been in the dark if Belcher wouldn't have been calling it out. Or Norwood.
And also, Barnett, also like for she's absolutely 100% correct on that one. And the thing about it is, they weren't even getting reports. They wasn't getting reports for years. I don't even think they got a report now. They got no information, and the judge actually ordered them to give the information over. They still ain't got the information.
And she still sat up there and lied and said, you have it, we gave it to you, we emailed it to you, while she in court telling the judge legally she don't think she has to give it to him.
Well,
it was just a bunch of mismanagement, Barnett. If you look at it, and to be honest with you, and it's a simple case, to be honest with you. It's a very simple case.
Okay. Well, I let me just say this real quick. I appreciate all y'all today because I learned something today but I will tell y'all this, and I got it from a reliable source, that it's a lot of things that the media don't know and the YouTubers don't even know that I've been told. And I'm just holding it to my belt. Just like the Andrew Holmes case, I knew that months before the YouTubers got it and the media as well. But I didn't say that. I didn't want to talk on it because I like to go on facts, and when you put allegations out there, you got to be on point. You can't put stuff out there like that, and it come to find out not to be true or unfounded. Man, that stirs a lot of trouble up. So there are some things, such as this Lori Lightfoot.
Wait a minute, did you?
Go ahead. What you finna say?
Mark,
did you hear about?
Yeah.
Can I say? Who want to talk? I'm sorry.
Yeah, she been holding for long. Go ahead, dear sister. Go ahead. Real quick. 94.
I wanted to say.
Go ahead.
I wanted to say it also goes by the color of your skin. So Donald Trump got away with I'm just gonna tell the truth for saying that it goes by the color of your skin. Tiffany is not white. Donald Trump gonna get away with a lot of stuff because of his skin, because of his skin color.
Right.
Okay. Yep. Now, okay. There are some things.
That's not true. I don't believe that's true.
Okay. Well,
I mean, don't get me wrong. That's a part truth. They might have been watching her closely because she was black, but they didn't make her steal the money.
No, let me just say this. Can I ask you a question since 2:15? If you working under my administration, right? Okay, I'm your boss. Okay. And we get the federal investigations come in, subpoena, and ask us to release some records, and I tell you not to release it to them. Are you just as guilty or not guilty for not releasing the records? Listen to your boss or this federal subpoena. I mean, what's your thoughts on that? What's your take on that?
My thoughts is the first rule of life is self-preservation. Cover your own ass. Yep. So if my boss tell me not to give the records to the FBI, I may or may not, depending on my involvement.
No.
Period. Yep. Because once the feds come in and ask, you already know it's downhill from there. So you're not going to have no job to protect.
Okay.
And then another thing, Martin, if you let me real quick on that, the thing about it is if she do not hand over those records and they turn around and go to that federal judge, and that federal judge, they probably give them one chance and they don't turn those records over, It's done done it.
So the reason why I asked that
and that's
question,
what I think happening.
well, the reason why I asked that question, and now you really kind of avoided 215. Now, suppose you do exactly what I tell you to do. Are you responsible as well for breaking the law?
Because I've been through that, Martin. You don't remember I started out the conversation saying I was indicted
But
by
see,
the judge?
but I need you to come clean. So, in other words, what I'm saying is, those of you that's out there listening to me, you listen to your boss direct orders, and I know that she pay your bills, she can hire, fire you, and all that. But you're involved if you don't release certain things. If you're in charge of a certain area, if you're in charge of the records, and you don't give these records out, these FOIAs, you just as guilty as as your boss. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, people. That's all I'm saying. So that's why I said a lot of people are gonna go down if it come down to it. And if she's guilty of some of these major charges, I'm not talking about the little line and all that. Some of these major charges, man, there's a lot of heads gonna roll, boy. And they praying that Tiffany don't go to jail. They praying that Tiffany don't be indicted. I'm telling y'all, people, y'all gonna say that Crime Chaser Martin said that. Watch. I'm telling you, it's gonna be full of surprises. I'm telling you, the same
And
people.
Martin, I'm totally.
Hold on, sister.
You just can't see it, though. I can't see it.
You ain't got to see it. Listen, we don't see. 470 said it. 470 said it. We don't know everything. And I got listen, when I got a call the other day, it was told to me from a reliable source that it's some things that YouTube and the media don't know. They have to hold that information. So I'm telling you, so everything is not out, people. Trust me, everything is not out. There's some things that's...
But Martin, did you know they were still in the FEMA money, Martin?
Huh?
Did you know they were still in the FEMA money?
I don't know. I'm not in the administration. I heard a bunch of lies, so I don't know what's going on. Be honest with you.
The news did a reporting. This was the local news, and I'm gonna email you the clip. And remember when Tiffany got on in the one meeting, she said, "I've declared a disaster in the township and in Dolton, so FEMA will come in and help." The FEMA was sending the money to the village hall, and the village hall was supposed to distribute the checks to the people that was eligible. When the people started calling saying that they received the letters saying that they was eligible and haven't received their checks, FEMA looked it up and told them the checks had been cashed. Now, the one lady that was on the news, they opened up a bank account online and deposited the FEMA check. So it is a lot of stuff that's going on behind the it's more than them just stealing grant money and account money. It's a lot going on. You know what I'm saying?
And then they also got this thing called prosecutor discretion, whereas they can choose who they want to prosecute and all the rest of those things. And what we don't know is that whether or not they didn't already talk to those people, because they could be subpoenaed and everything like that. But I think that young lady, she was kind of mad, the one that was up under her. I think she volunteered that information because she said it at one of those meetings or something. She was saying, she said, "I'm waiting for them to call me." So basically, she gave them an invitation to call her.
She was the first one.
They got everything. They got everything that they actually need, Martin.
Right.
Here's the thing: they will prosecute you if they want you. If you're a small fish and all the rest of that stuff, as long as you be honest about the whole situation and everything, they'll look the other way on that. They going for the big fish.
Yeah, I did 70 months in the federal penitentiary. Nobody made it to the jail but me. So I know how it go. I know how it is for them to knock on your door at 4 o'clock in the morning. I know how you to be sitting there, shutting up, holding it down. And when you get to sentencing, nobody in there but you. Everybody walked away with house arrest and probation. I've been there. I know. I was tax fraud. That was me. I know.
And then if you look at what you're saying also, if you really think about it, they got the two biggest fish. They didn't need those sardines. They got the two biggest fish. They got the assistant and the chief.
But I think they're going to come at, and Tiffany already throwing
Robert Hunt under the bus, the finance director over.
You think so?
Yeah, because she say every meeting they've been stealing for years. They've been stealing.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
407, you're right. You're right at 407.
He's been the finance director for 13 years, and she get up there and talk to him like a child. Sit down, read.
Yep.
So that lets you know that he's more loyal to Tiffany than he is to the FBI, because look like he would just kind of get somewhere or resign like Jerry Jones or somebody, because she gonna throw everybody on the bus. Trust and believe, like Martin said, she ain't going down without a fight. Y'all already see the fight in her. She gonna tell on everybody. She'll tell on her mama.
What 47?
Hey, but
you know what? You're right about that.
Yep.
And Robert Hunt, don't forget, Robert Hunt came from over there from Dolton over to the township.
Right about that. You called it.
Hey, they definitely gonna talk to the county guy, the young guy that she talking about. They gonna be the main one they talk to. They definitely gonna talk to him.
Yeah, listen to this. Y'all honestly think they ain't already talked to Robert Hunt? You got to remember, sometimes the feds send you back in to finish the job off.
I don't think they're going to shoot him. I don't think they're going to give him a indictment like they did Keith Freeman, the whistleblower, Carmen Carlisle, because he's been in this corruption for a number of years. I don't even think they're going to even try to give him a pardon like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
we're going to close
everything close to the chest, too.
We're going to close it out with this. We're going to start with 9440, the last question. Will this ruin her legacy if she's found guilty? If she's found guilty, go ahead, 9449. Closing comments.
Yes, it'll ruin her legacy if she's found guilty. Only if she's found guilty.
Okay.
That's all I got to say.
Okay, 901.
The biggest fumble in centuries. And it's going to have a detrimental effect when it comes down to African American women being looked at in these positions. So it's going to have a ripple effect when it comes down to the whole community, because they don't assign it to like one person. They're look at their ability to lead and all the rest of those things. So it was a black eye. That's why African Americans are really so in tune with what's actually going on, because it has far-reaching consequences. Like you say all the time, Martin, this is a system that they actually made. So they got to make cases like that. When they make cases like that, and you say it all the time, when you get in those positions and everything, you can't do what other people do. You're going to be under a microscope. And it did not help that he came out and knew here and flew here and all the rest of those things and carrying on and doing all the rest of that. It was a bad look. Yeah, that's a fumble. It's going to ruin her legacy. Not only that, but the legacy of the sisters. That's the sad part about the whole situation.
Okay. 612, closing remarks.
I think that if Tiffany is found guilty, it will ruin. I don't think it'll ruin her legacy, because I kind of feel like, she's kind of like, I love New York, we hated her, and she'll bounce back in something, but it'll ruin her legacy in politics. And as far as women, I think that with the world watching as it is now, and I mean the whole world, black, white, blue, yellow, brown, whatever color, I think is more not even about ruining the way we see women in politics. I think we're right back to ruining the way we see black people in politics. And that's the saddest part of this.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have to say.
Okay, 9433. Closing comments.
I think that this has been an eye-opener to all of us. I have learned a lot of things. You're never too old to learn nothing. But I really think she put a damper on us, on the black women, because now they're going to look at us in a totally different light.
Okay. All right, 470.
Yes, sir. I think it will run her legacy only because of she have a child, and she never mentioned her daughter until
she feel like she under attack, not concerned about the legacy she leaves, which is her daughter, that have to deal with this after effect if she's found guilty. I think the most, regardless of black people or whatever, I think it's a disingenuous to her daughter that's right now 4 or 5 that really don't understand what's going on, but she will have to deal with this for the rest of her life. So yes, I think it will ruin her legacy if she's found guilty.
Okay. 215.
Hey, Martin, real quick, Martin. 215. She all right. She get a C plus. She ain't all that. She all right though.
Come on, 215.
I don't think she has a legacy, because I think a legacy is something that you pass down from generation to generation, and after this is done, what is she passing down? Who, if her daughter ever was to get up and try to run for office, first thing they would say is, that's Tiffany Henyard daughter. That would just dead everything. But I do believe she has a chance at, hold on, I ain't disrupt nobody. I do believe she has a chance at redemption, because people love a comeback. So if she get this time and come out and tell the story and change her life, I believe she still can be great at something, because she do have some qualities. She's not all of a dud. It's just that she let the stealing and the corruption take over. So I believe she has a good story that people gonna want to hear after all this.
Go ahead, 612.
And that's all I gotta say.
Go ahead, 612. I know you want to cut off us, but go ahead.
Oh no, actually, I was kind of clearing my throat.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Okay.
I guess, I wasn't trying to.
Okay. I didn't know. I thought you said something.
So I'm sorry about that. I wasn't trying to cut you off at all. But I do want to add that, I feel like, just like how we got hit with the Donald Trump wave and with this overwhelming vote, I think, just like with anybody, Tiffany was always going to have supporters. The trustees are going to, so I think she's always going to have her supporters somewhere, and then there's just going to be people talking about her. But I do agree with 215. Like, if she tells her story, I do believe there's redemption in that, because there's just part of the story that I wish that she would have told from the beginning, and that could have helped. But that's for Tiffany to do. And so I agree with 215, but now I wasn't trying to interrupt you. I was clearing my throat. I'm sorry.
Now,
I'm sorry. I apologize.
All right, let me say this. It's a lot of things that Tiffany knows that we don't know. And not only Tiffany, for those that's in her circle. And there's some things that's probably going to come out, and it's going to shock us. It's going to shock us, people. And we're going like, wow. And I'm like you guys. I'm somewhat disappointed, because she had a great chance, and she's not been convicted or arrested. But if she get convicted and arrested, she had a great chance to be really great in the state of Illinois, in this country. And she made history. We can't take that from her. She made history in Dolton. She definitely made history. But I don't know. It's just not looking good for her in some things. Just not looking good. We caught in so many lies. So many lies. And I tell y'all, that's what politicians do. They lie. Look it up in the dictionary. They say liar. Liar.
Can I say something real quick, Martin?
Yes, sir. You won't let me go home. I'm gonna lay down. Go ahead.
Man, because you this like crack, man. You took it over here. Look, to be honest with you, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you the truth. I think all of us will agree on this right here. Martin, I think everybody was actually rooting for her. And to be honest with you, I think that's what it is. And we just coming from, this is just a real disappointment, because we was, I was actually, like 215 was saying, she got a B plus now. She moving up a little bit. But I was actually rooting for her. I was actually really rooting for her. And actually, I was looking for some things that go against what it is they were saying. But everything just kept on piling on and piling on and piling on. But if you really look at the heart of the whole matter, I think all of us are rooting for her.
No, not me. Not me. I came in, no. No. I came in like, who is this? Why is she so brave? Why is she talking to them like this? And that's why I've come to a lot of conclusions, rewatching the meetings, rewatching what everybody is saying. No, I am one that came in like, she is wrong, and was loud about it. So I do want to say that. And that took research for me to do and to be able to say that in truth, that I came in like, no, who does she think she is? This is all wrong. She's all wrong. So I wanted to be honest in that. I did not think that.
Okay. I want to answer. Somebody said something. Hold on, people. I got another question. You would have been in the dark if the YouTubers wouldn't have brought it out. Not me. I knew a lot was going on. Listen, how I got introduced to Dolton, I got introduced to Dolton by Tiffany. Tiffany will tell you, I was the first person, one of the first persons in Dolton before it even blew up. And I got documentation. Documentation beats conversation to prove that. Wasn't a YouTuber around. They was asking me, Marty, come out here and put this story out. I got frustrated. I said, you know what? This y'all fight. Y'all want me to do all this work. This y'all fight. It's not my fight. You got to fight. You know?
Mark.
Hold on, sister. Hold it. Now, since I got y'all here, and now the one begging for more time, maybe y'all can answer this for me. What do you think about her dream team? I call it the dream team. All women panel that's running. All women running. Politicians running. What do y'all think about that?
I think that was. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
For them women to witness how she devastated these two cities, for all the rumors of corruption, for them to see the feds come in, for them to see all of that and still want to get on the ticket with her, means they all in on the same thing. So, I mean, what can you say? Like your parents always tell you, birds of a feather.
Somebody got something going. Somebody got something playing in the background. I don't know what it is. The audio.
Oh,
that sounds like YouTube.
Mark, I want to say, everybody got a twin out there, and Tiffany got a twin out in the world doing the same thing she's doing. So just how the caller just said, birds of a feather flock together. And when you do wrong, you're going to get your wrong before you leave this earth. You're going to get it.
Anybody else want to comment?
The dream team. If she had done all those things, it would have been a wonderful mayor and all the rest of it. And if she would have picked that team and everything like that, then I think that would have been a good look. But I think it's just a little too late on that one. And basically what she did, if you think about it, that was a strategic move, because basically what she's trying to also say that not only, because she always say that they're not attacking me, they're attacking us. So she brought those sisters in and everything like that. So when they come down to prosecute and all the rest of that stuff, she trying to spin in the wind. She trying to put something in the mix. And see, that goes further to not only her intent, but the cover up actually is worse than the intent. And basically every move that she's actually making, these are desperate pleas of somebody that know there's something that's actually coming. So it's in disarray. So the thing about it is that just further proves that her narcissistic behavior, that's all that proves right there. And so, because think about it, if she does go through this process and it comes down to sentencing, what the judge is going to look at, did she display any type of remorse? And the answer to that's going to be no. And then he's going to look at how she used the seniors and everything, paraded the seniors around. He's going to take all that, because honestly, there has not been 1 ounce of accountability or 1 ounce of remorse. If anybody can show me a clip of Tiffany that says she was wrong and she was sorry, I'll have Martin give y'all $1,000.
Oh, okay. All right. I got that.
I said Martin not be
Right.
top one.
That's what
I ain't
No,
never heard
I
him
mean I got that clip. I got that clip.
Well, he said,
I
"Me
got
give you
that
$1,000."
say. Yeah, Martin gonna
But
get $1,000.
but I somebody else gonna have to give it to him if I get the clip. Y'all gonna have to
Yeah,
get
because she ain't never took accountability. But let me say this: Tiffany is so smart. She strategically picked an all women slate, and she said in bingo when she's doing big bingo, she said, "Seniors, I got an all women slate because she know black people appeal to women, especially seniors." She pulled that. She said, "Seniors, I got an all women slate." She knows seniors vote. She knows seniors that the baby boomers that are seniors that they're gonna appeal to black women regardless of what they do and don't. Tiffany had a whole bunch of seniors on them buses going to that caucus. That's on Tiffany's side. Tiffany had a whole bunch of seniors speaking for her. She know that these seniors gonna vote for a black woman regardless of what they hear about them or say about them. That's why she get up in the big bingo and say, "I got a whole women's slate," because she knows, and the seniors went to classes because they back in the days that they wasn't used to seeing black women in position. So now they saying we want a black woman in position. It was 92% of black women voted for Kamala Harris, so they did identity politics. It's no different here.
Here's the thing. But to suggest that black people are not intelligent enough to tell the difference between the two, I find it just be a little bit disrespectful.
Sir, that's again, you didn't listen to what I said.
No. I thought you.
Not all black people. I said Tiffany doing big bingo told all the seniors doing big bingo. Big bingo don't comprise of all the black people in the world. I specifically said.
No, but you also said but you also said that black people vote for women, regardless of whether they're right or wrong. That's your exact
I said
word.
identity politics. Identity politics. It's the reason Tiffany in position.
Right.
But she ruined the identity politics because she put a bad taste in people's mouth with black women in power in that area. Don't nobody really want to see her coming. And then you got a whole slate with people like-minded like you. Everybody running the other way. That's why over in the Thornton Township, first of all, I don't care what nobody say. Democratic Party and the Republican Party is gangs. Okay? Now, what they did was the gang got together and the leadership said, we don't want her in the Democratic gang no more.
Yep.
So when she came to that caucus, that was a contorted effort of a lot of people in power. That wasn't just Harris.
Napoleon.
Right. That wasn't just him saying, "Oh, I want the seat." They got the Right. That's you calling them
Just
out.
like Trump. Yep, exactly.
That's what.
Exactly.
Well, listen. Let me say this. I ain't mad at no confident black woman. The power of life and death is in the tongue. If you can speak it, speak it. Period. I'm a congratulator. I ain't no hater. Period. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. If you believe that you're gonna win, speak it out. You know, and evidently, what she said. That is confidence. That's confidence. To me, it is.
That's ignorance, brother.
No, how's that ignorance?
That's flat ignorance.
Hold on. How's that ignorance? Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
See, because the thing about it is, here's the thing: she can't even form a sentence, bro. She can't even form that. That is not.
Hold on, brother. Hold on.
I didn't flew here. What is?
Hold it, brother. Hold it, brother. Hold it. You forgot that she hold one of the most powerful positions here in the South Suburb, Thornton Township. Even though she wasn't elected, she was selected. But I'm just saying, regardless of her English or grammar or whatever, she still holds 2 positions. So you can say whatever you want to say about her bad grammar. I'm not taking her for. She got the position. She got something that somebody with a PhD probably desire to want to have. Think she don't deserve. They don't have it. And they can speak with correct grammar.
And look what she did. What is correct grammar? And look what she did with it. Look, hold on.
What is correct grammar? There are people in Texas that don't.
Guess what?
Oh my.
And guess what, y'all? It's more ways.
Hold it, sister. Hold it. 9433. Hold on. Go ahead, 901.
Okay.
And look how she wrote. Martin even pointed out himself. Look, if y'all go over, if you pull up the on those candidates he just had, if you read what they wrote on that, that's an embarrassment. You can tell an amateur wrote that. Mm-hmm. That's why you have those political firms and people who actually specialize in those things. There's a different language that you speak in different different professions. That when they wrote it looked like a high school person wrote that. That was horrible.
That's all the communications. I could definitely agree with that. That's right. Most of the communications I see, and that's all around from everybody, because the only other statements come out for the trustees, which I found very, very interesting, is that all the statements are coming from Nikita Cloud. So that aside, I do think that this slate is, while it definitely doesn't appeal to the wider court of public opinion, I really think people are counting out the youth that are now voting age, the youth that, I guess these are the videos that people don't see on random channels about the basketball courts and how these fathers who grew up when there weren't basketball courts can bring their children and have these conversations and have these championships. These are voters from 18 to 30 that I have seen outside of just talking politics. These kids, these young people are just talking like that. They're your voters too. So I know that everybody keeps saying the seniors, but Tiffany has the youth as well, and they're voters.
No. She don't got no youth. I don't see no youth.
No, I don't know about that one.
Me either.
I don't know about that one. I ain't gonna lie. 612. 612.
Yeah, the seniors, that's one thing.
Singers, I know she got them singers on lock. She got them singers on lock. She got them.
Go check out Martin.
Y'all got to remember the old church lady. She talking about you see it behind your back.
Martin, go check out the basketball court.
Okay.
I was gonna say, Martin, it's more ways than one to skin a cat.
Okay, thank you.
You're right about that.
Yep, it's more ways than one to skin a cat.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the last voter turnout, Tiffany had the least amount of votes. When they did when her and the trustees ran, Jason had more votes as a trustee than she had as mayor. So she keep getting on the thing saying they ran on her ticket. It's because she asked them to. She knew she needed them to get her over the hump. And that's a known.
And let me say this too, y'all. Hold it.
Now moving forward, she's not going to have.
Hold it. Let me say this. By the way, she did lose that election, that recall election. but the judge threw it out because some of the paperwork wasn't right or something. But she did lose that election for the recall.
She did.
She did. Yeah, the recall election.
And that should bring it right back to the lawyers. Bert Odelson lost. Now, how you go? And this is not the first recall that he's lost. So
why do people got to keep recalling her for her to be right?
Well,
why can't nobody just sit down and listen with her? So that's the problem. She's not.
With the lawyers.
She's
the lawyers are pushing that.
That's if she would act like a team player. Okay.
The wording that he actually used and everything like that, honestly, I didn't find anything wrong with what he wrote. He wrote, if you look at what he actually wrote.
Let's not play the radio. The judge was corrupt.
Because the wording on there was actually, it was perfect. It was very simple. It was very simple. He was talking about that, the interpretation and all the rest of that stuff, but the lawyer actually used very, very simple language. Very simple language. It was like on the 4th grade level.
And that goes back
to what you said earlier, as
if we as black people can't comprehend.
Exactly. That's exactly what that was.
That's why a judge is a judge. The judge is a judge.
Judges is nothing but lawyers appointed
judges. They don't went to school for that.
But it's law, ma'am. Nobody has to go to school to read the law.
Well, you can't interpret the law better than a judge. They went to school.
And that's my point to you. It's all up to the judge interpretation. So it's nothing bulletproof a lawyer can do. He did his job. The judge
determined lost the same recall in 2016. Thank you.
And guess who was her lawyer? Guess who was her lawyer? Delgado.
Not in 2016.
Yes, he was. He was her legislative counsel. Yes, he was. Go back and watch it. He was her legislative counsel.
Look, I'll be honest with you. I don't see the actual obsession when it comes down to those lawyers. Because if y'all really think and believe that those lawyers, with all that money they got and everything, them Jewish lawyers in Chicago, about Chicago, you think they're gonna take some pennies like that?
Well,
they're not taking pennies. They're making all the money.
And you got to
do nothing but keep.
That's when I know.
No,
that's when I know people don't understand the Southland.
Right.
That's how I know people don't understand the Southland. Right.
901. They right. She's right. The lawyers making money. If they paying lawyer Lightfoot all them $1,000, you could imagine what they're paying the lawyers. Even though she's a former attorney.
No, and they represent. Here's the thing: those lawyers, they represent the whole deal. They represent the whole thing. They're not just representing one piece of the whole thing. They represent the whole municipality. It has nothing to do with those judges. I'm gonna tell you what's happening. What's happening is this: she is casting a whole bunch of stuff against the wall and hoping it'll stick. That's not gonna fly. And then here's another thing you got to understand. Them Jewish lawyers and everything like that, they go to schools, those judges and all the rest of that stuff. They play a totally different set of rules.
That's why Delgado quit.
That's why he connected. Those folks is connected. That's why
them judges told Delgado, you better quit this mess. Get out of this quick. He quit. Delgado quit. The judges that he was connected
from Dolton. He ain't quit from Dolton. He only quit from Dolton when he know she wasn't his check wasn't going cash. He didn't quit from when he. Hold on, let me point something out to you real quick, and you tell me if you agree with it. When you watch that meeting when she dressed like Nino Brown, or it might have been the meeting a month after that, the trustees said, "Listen, this is what we going to do." Because remember, she didn't want to pay Bert Odelson. Okay, so the trustees said, "Listen, what we going to do is let's just pay all the lawyers." And then we'll argue and move forward. But pay all the lawyers, Delgado, Odelson, and it was one other lawyer that quit, and they owed him money too. And she said, no, I ain't paying nobody. I ain't paying nobody. That tell you right there, who don't want their own lawyer to be paid? Because she knew she didn't want Delgado to get a check that wasn't going cash.
But she doesn't have the power to do that.
Right, ma'am.
Power to do what?
We're trying to tell you 2 attorneys is running
all the little black municipalities.
Okay, but if she stopped causing chaos, they would. We can't talk about all the municipalities because they're municipal lawyers. They supposed to feed their family. What are you talking about? They doing what they went to school to. You think they went to school for 10 years?
That she can't.
You think they went to school for 10?
The only people
but what I'm just trying
lawyers.
to tell you is that's what they do.
They're not doing it in the white neighborhood.
That's what they do. That's why even when you get divorced, when you get divorced, only the divorce lawyers make money. But people that got common sense, they say take the lawyer out of it. Let's settle this thing ourselves and move on.
I cannot believe they cannot see the only people making money in this.
No, I cannot believe we don't hear. We see it. We see it. We know lawyers get money.
All them black males been indicted. Most of them black males, the mayor of Dixmoor, been indicted by the federal government. Whose attorney was Olderson.
Riverdale.
Calumet City, Chris Wilson,
Riverdale.
up there acting ugly, worse than Tiffany, got the same attorney. All these black municipalities got these two attorneys that's really fighting against each other.
They hired them. They hired them, ma'am. They could have hired black lawyers. They could have hired
point
black
they
lawyers.
were trying to say about
That's
the
the point
Southland,
you're
though.
making. You got two white people taking over black municipalities that's making all the money. That's what
I don't agree with that one. I don't.
The Willie Lynch.
Okay, but listen, who is hiring these lawyers? They don't just come by default. They have to be hired. And these black people get in, the black corrupt mayors get in and hire black corrupt attorney firms.
The system.
Come on.
The system got them doing this.
Them not the only lawyers on the registry in the Southland. Come on. That's just like
got them doing this. It's a whole bunch of black attorneys.
So why didn't they appoint one? So why did it take for Dolton to go broke for her to appoint two low-level black attorneys? If she was really for change and move, okay, and that was my point, because he know the money gone. He didn't quit in Thornton where that checkbook still clearing. He quit in Dolton where the money was going. That's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you. You're not listening to me. I'm saying when he was in Dolton and they voted to pay all the lawyers, including him and Olderson, she said no, because she didn't want no checks going out that wasn't going to clear. Period.
But she doesn't have that authority.
So when Delgado said the money was dried up in Dolton, all he did was stayed in Thornton. He didn't leave Thornton. She over there. Right, you know why? Because that's the big bank account. So I'm with you on that one. But what I'm trying to say, the flip side of that is they keep hiring the same lawyers. You making it seem like these lawyers is
it's the system. It's
not no system. When you get into the government,
Napoleon Harris, a millionaire, former football player,
he hired them.
Olderson. He
hired them. He hired them. He hired them. That's what my point is. He hired them.
And I'm telling you, because that's the system they set up, the Willie Lynch.
No, it's not. No, it's not. When you're a crook and you want to do crooked shit, you surround yourself with crooked people. Period. That's just like Keith Freeman. He just got caught stealing $90,000, and they begged her not to hire him. And she laughed in their face on that video, and she still hired that man. And then because a lot of stuff that went on, if I'm being honest, I think Keith Freeman did behind Tiffany back. If we want to talk.
Yeah, they were stealing from me. Yeah, they were stealing from her and everything. And what they basically did, they played her ego. Because
they played her. That's what I'm saying.
They played her like a fiddle. And one thing about it is that's why I think everybody shouldn't go to college. But if you're gonna go in a situation like that, you need to be doing some internships. You need to go ahead and get a degree and just understand how this process works. Because basically, she didn't know anything about the process. She knew nothing about the process at all. Because if you look at the people that she actually picked, that was a clown show. Nobody that she had on it was actually qualified to do anything. Even the police.
And was making big money.
Hold on. Okay. He wasn't even certified. That gentleman, he wasn't even certified. And then who gonna hire all these people with these felons and all the rest of those things like that? That whole, if you look at it, I'll tell you what. Tell me one person in her cabinet that's competent. Tell me one.
Nobody. They was all yes men. Y'all looking at the little fish. We talking about the big fish that's eating the little fish up. We talking about
we were talking about the lawyers.
Fish.
But ma'am, you said we were talking about the lawyers.
Yeah, and
the lawyers is the big fish. They've been there for years with the same.
Can I take it a step further then?
Giving them contracts.
Let me take it a step
612
further.
talk.
Okay,
612.
So you got Napoleon Harris, who has Bert Odelson, right? And that's okay?
He hired him. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying he hired him. Y'all making it seem like these lawyers is just appearing out of nowhere.
Okay, yeah. And I'm not done. Right. I just wanted to know. I'm not done. I wanted to know because I want to connect this. I'm really trying to help you understand how to connect this. Okay, so now Napoleon hired Bert Odelson. Napoleon Harris is right now the committee chairman of insurance of the South.
Okay.
He's also a broker. Now, let's connect that a little more.
Okay.
Who also is
They actually took civics out of the high schools. I just learned about this about 6 months ago. They don't even teach civics anymore.
Keep saying, we know lawyers get money. They keep their check rolling. But what I'm saying is, when Tiffany became the most powerful person in the Southland, just like she pushing and forcing everybody to hire Delgado, she could have went and got her a legit black firm and did the same thing. Set them up, and worked with her board. She had a chance of a lifetime. She did not have to go. She did not have to go put in Delgado in the place, because just look at it. When her back was against the wall and everything was all out, now she got two black people standing next to her.
And that guy, he got that guy with the dreads and everything like that. He has a shady past as well. They said he don't even have an office. So the thing about it, if you look around it, all those people around her is what do you call it? And honestly, to be honest with you, and I'm not saying this, I'm not trying to be mean or nothing like that, but that stuff is propaganda that's coming actually from her camp. And that anger, when it comes down to the lawyers, that's not going anywhere. That's just an argument and everything, and they just wasting time on that.
Now, don't get me wrong. I do think it was a little shady what Napoleon did. You know, it was a little slant to it. We ain't going to sit here and act like it wasn't. Everybody seen it. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's a gang, and they don't want her as a member no more. So now they're going to pull out all the stops to get her out.
Here's the thing, Troll. She had the power she had behind her. She had unlimited resources when it actually come down to it, because they was actually grooming her They was actually grooming her for a bigger position. That's why I say this was a fumble of a lifetime. She had that Chicago political machine behind her, because that's why if you notice that Priska, he was like, no, we know we ain't gonna touch that, nothing like that. We ain't gonna touch that because you got the FBI. And trust me, they already know what she's charged with. They already know everything, and everything has already been discussed and all the rest of those things. And they discuss those things, like Martin would say, behind closed doors. They already know what they're going to charge her with. They already know what she's looking at and everything like that. They already know that. And see, they had a conversation with the DNC and everything and say, look, this is what we got. 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 You know, either y'all need to handle this and everything like this, or we going to take care of it. They have those conversations.
And they didn't do that with
we had.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
Okay, ladies and gents. I think I had enough now. Can I lay down and go to sleep now? It's almost 3 o'clock Chicago time.
Yeah.
We'll resume tomorrow. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all.
Hit your cash app.
Hey, y'all, that's right. Hit that cash app, people. Y'all down here. Hit that cash app, people. I'm not trying to get rich off y'all, but I just hit the cash. Support this channel. Definitely support this channel, people. It's worth it. Trust me. This is one of the only few channels that you can call and be yourself. Real talk. Real talk.
Real talk.
I got to find out what 250. I've been trying to find something that 215 of myself to disagree against, because I want to take her down a notch.
Oh, 215.
Who, me?
215. She been doing
215.
Hey, 215. The only thing I don't like what you said today is you talk about these older people. Be careful when you say older people. We are people of people. And one thing about when we all come on here, we together. This skin connects us.
What I say? I'm sorry. I ain't hear
you said that's what these older people be thinking. Like, don't do that. Don't do that, because it sets a wedge between the young and the old. Don't do that. I mean, you had a lot of facts tonight.
I take it back.
Yeah, but don't do that, because
I take it back.
Because listen, just like James Brown says, a man's world, but it wouldn't be nothing without a woman. So we need each young and old. We need each other. Trust me. The script.
Let me clear up my point.
But hold on.
My point was just that sometimes older people don't listen to younger people. I apologize.
No, and no, listen. The tone. See, you apologize about 20 times. That means you don't really mean it. You shouldn't have had to apologize that many times. No. If you keep doing the same thing over and over and over, you don't mean it. So you have to. I'm just telling you.
I do mean it, but sometimes the conversation was getting ahead of me. And I had to go back and apologize.
I'm telling you this in love. Listen, I'm just telling you this in love. Now, he called the young for war, and he called the old men for counsel. You know what I'm saying? This is where you should be getting your counsel. You know some things as well. You
talking about the old part. Oh,
right. The old, but that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, be careful with that.
You're right about that.
You know, be careful about that.
You heard his feelings.
Yeah.
No, you heard my feelings. I'm glad. Listen, this is a good day to be living. I'm glad to be living in the land of the living. Trust me.
Well, I will work on that.
Yeah,
I will work on that.
Listen, there's millions of people who would love to be in my place right now. In good health, clothing, my right mind, all of my ligaments work. Listen, God been good to me.
Right.
I'm telling you. So, hey, y'all can say whatever y'all want to say. I'm glad to be 56 years old. I'm telling you.
Oh, you look good.
Thank you. And I feel good. And I feel good too. Not on that. All right, y'all. I got to get out of here. Thank y'all. Good morning, good night, whatever it is. Good night. Y'all already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. Tell the truth. And what?
And shame the devil.
And what?
I love being.
What you said.
All right. Good night, y'all. Good night.